Hello and welcome to the Only Fools Love Horses Cheltenham Festival 2024 preview show. Yes, our live preview show. We did it last year, a fantastic success, one of our best videos we've ever done on the channel, and hopefully this year it can be equally as successful. It's a different one to last year. Last year we had plenty of people on throughout the night, all at one time, but this time we have many special guests coming on throughout the show. They'll be dropping in and out as we go along. We've got Ella McNeill to talk about McNeill horses, Nick Pearce to talk about Dan Skelton's horses, and we've got Rob Acheson from Robcour to talk about his horses, as well as an interview with Danny Mullins, pre-recorded. That'll be at the start and the end of the video, so make sure to stick around for the whole show. We're going to try and do all 4 days in a timely manner to one of the greatest shows on turf. And of course, to go through the full 4 days, it's the three lads and Jack Dorling from Next Gen Racing. Jack, I'll come over to you first of all. Thank you very much. First of all, you're over in Hong Kong. What time is it that you're doing this Cheltenham preview at?
Yeah, just ticked over to 4 o'clock in the morning, so probably not the best decision on me to get up early and do a Cheltenham Festival preview. But hopefully we can find a few winners. Thanks very much for having me on, and yeah, let's find a few winners.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, we're going to keep this nice, short and snappy throughout the 4 days. Harry, Cheltenham Festival, you're coming over. The excitement levels must be building now. 7 days to go.
No, I'm like a little kid. Oh, well, I am pretty small anyway, so I am literally like a little kid. But anyway, yeah, I am absolutely buzzing. I've seen one of the comments already saying, unlike others, hope this is actually live. Yes, it is live, and it's not pre-recorded, so no, it should be an absolute belter. We've got some cracking guests coming on, and I've got a little bingo game going on, haven't I? So hopefully I get 2 out of 2 from you boys.
Yeah, there's a bingo game going on in the background of things we usually say on videos. I don't know what's going on, so I'm just going to let the boys crack on with that. Lee, you're sporting some fantastic Old Gold merch there. We are kindly sponsored by Old Gold this evening, as we always are on the channel. Guy, it must be like Christmas for you with the Cheltenham Festival coming up.
1 week to go, lads. 1 week. I can't wait. Yeah, look, fly down on Monday. I'll have the full week there. Hopefully see you lads about and enjoy it. I'm sure Jack will be getting up nice and sharp to watch the races over there. But yeah, look, I can't wait. And we've actually got a share in an Old Gold horse to give away, which we'll announce after this show. So we're going to pick someone at random and give away a share in a horse. Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. I'm already seeing your comments flying in. Racing interest. Evening, lads. Good to hear from you. Anto, hello, lads. The Cheltenham Exchange. Oi, oi. Great to see Jack. Serious judge. That must be one of your family members, Jack. Surely this can't be right. No,
Alex, I'll pay you in a bit.
The brown envelope already being passed about. Yes, the Cheltenham preview, the full races to be covering. We're covering the main races on each day and then doing our handicaps and anything else at the end of each day, best bet for each day. And then we've got a lucky 15 from all 4 of us at the end of the show. Should be fantastic. But lads, let's kick on, shall we? The Grade 1 Supreme Novices Hurdle kicks off. The Supreme Raw is what we'll be looking for. And there's the betting on screen now. Ballyburn, where's he going to go? 15-8 topping the market. Tully Hill 9-2. Mystical Power 5-1. Firefox 11-2. Jack, the honours comes over to you first of all. Supreme, how do you see this picture?
Yeah, I think the race is going to pan out perfectly for Ballyburn if he does go here. I think Tully Hill and Mr. Jiff will probably go forward. He'll pick it up, probably get in the box seat, pick it up and win as he likes. But to be fair, there is probably one at a price, and that is Mr. Jiff, the Simon Neer owned horse, who I think could actually go pretty well. I think that the boys in Double Green have a stellar few chances this year. And there's a great stat that I saw actually on Twitter, and it was Willie Mullins has run just 4 horses in the last 10 years with French hurdle form in the Supreme. Vautour, Duvan, Min and Classical Dream. There's 3 winners there in a second place. And of course, Mr. Jiff, he's only had the 1 run, but albeit, I mean, he was very impressive. He slowed it up at Limerick. He cost €190,000 before he was brought over to the Willie Mullins yard. He slowed it up, quickened up nicely as well, all the way to the line. And I know he's only had the 1 run for the Willie Mullins yard, but he's around the 16-1 mark. And I think he is going to be prominent. He is going to have his chance there if Ballyburn especially doesn't go. And I think Mr. Jiff is definitely the each way player around 16-1.
Each way playing the Supreme. Lee, over to you. We're sort of talking about if Ballyburn turns up here. If Ballyburn turns up, is he the one for you, or are you looking maybe elsewhere?
Yeah, Willie, stop messing us about. Just tell us where you're going with Ballyburn. Look, he's definitely going to win it, I think. I think he'll win either race, but one's at bigger prices. If he doesn't come here, I think Firefox has a strong chance. He's already beat Ballyburn. He was lame the last day there, so you can scrap that run and forgive him that one. I think he'll be the rate of Jack Kennedy, and also Slade Steele, who we're going to be talking to Rob Acheson of Robcour, and he'll tell us about Slade Steele. But I think he's got a solid chance in second to Ballyburn the last day at the Dublin Racing Festival. And if Ballyburn doesn't go here, I think he's kind of an obvious one. I'm not so keen on Mystical Power and Tully Hill. I'm lukewarm on them too. And Jericho de Repney, look, if Nicky's yard is in rude health next week, I think he's probably one at an each way played. It's still at a big price. I'm on at a bigger price, and I'm happy to let that run. Would I back him now? I'm unsure. But yeah, look, two for me, Slade Steele and Firefox if Ballyburn doesn't go. And if he goes, he'll take the beating.
Lots of if, buts, and maybes. I suppose that is the game with how we're doing it. So, you know, it is a bit frustrating, but we're hopefully trying to guide you in the way of whether Ballyburn turns up or whether Ballyburn doesn't turn up. We're trying our best here. Harry, complete the trio. Is it? I know you're a massive Ballyburn fan. So, is there anything else that you'd be worried about, or is there anything you'd maybe look at if Ballyburn didn't turn up?
Yeah, the only person I'm worried about is Willie Mullins right now. It's none of the horses, it's just whatever he does. Because I am very much hoping that he goes there. I can't see anything. He's the best horse in Ireland. He's the best novice in Ireland. And, well, if it's anything to go by in recent years, then the British have absolutely nothing to compete with Ballyburn. And from what I've saw so far this year, if Jericho de Repney is the best that the British have got, I don't believe he can tackle Ballyburn. So Ballyburn is the one for me if he rocks up.
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree with you if Ballyburn turns up. Someone's commented there, 15 to 8 Ballyburn. Does that mean he's odds on for the 2.5 miler? These are anti-post prices. I think it's bet 365. The rest of them are evens, non-runner money back, but they're the only market anti-post wise. For me, agree with the lads. I think it's 4 from 4. If Ballyburn turns up here, I agree, and he's probably the most likely winner. But my each way angle, and probably the only horse I'll be backing if Ballyburn doesn't turn up, is Teller the Name at 16 to 1. A really impressive horse for Ben Pauling. I think quite smart. You can ignore that entry run. I think he's a really, really smart animal with a big engine underneath him. So he'll be a better chaser, I think that's for sure. But look, I think there's form in there. He put 14 lengths between himself and Lucky Place in the maiden hurdle, who's since placed in the Grade 2 behind Gidley Park. So yeah, I'm with Ballyburn. Ballyburn's the main one, but Teller the Name at an each way price. Gentlemen, we'll fire on into the Arkle then, and this one has had the market shaped up completely. Obviously, Marine Nationale, the news saying he's not going to be running, come from Barry Connell yesterday with his injury there, unfortunate, but hopefully he comes back to his best. So the market's shaping up differently now. It's about 7 to 2 the pair for Founder 50, Ilete Tomps, Hunter's Yarn 11 to 2, Quilixios 7 to 1, Facile Vega 8, JPR 1, 8's bigger the rest. Lee, I'll come over to you first of all. I really don't know who you fancy in this Arkle now. Marine Nationale's gone. What do you fancy?
I think it's a riddle, Ash. I really do. Look, kind of take your pick and throw a dart, I would have said. For me, I think if Facile Vega comes here, I'd forgive him and I'd back him. I hope he steps up to the turners because I do think he needs that step up and trip now. Gaelic Warrior, might be pitched into this race and they might try and split them too. But I think he'd be suited to the other course, the new course. This old course, for his jumping tendencies, I think would struggle more so in this race than the turners. Look, I'm finding it really tough, and I'll probably just have a bet something on the day, to be honest. If Facile Vega rocks up, I'll back him.
Thank you very much. Harry, I know you're a Facile Vega fan. Are you still with him if he turns up to the Arkle, or do you want to see him in the turners?
Have you still got that?
Well, I'm kind of forced to like him on now because he's literally imprinted on me for life. So it's one of those that I have to support him wherever he goes. I did speak to Maria, I'm sure you did as well, Lee, and she's none the wiser where he can go. But I think Willie might have his hand forced to play as such in a way that this. I think Facile Vega now, it's one of those. He's beaten the likes of Ilete Tomps in last year's Supreme. He's got plenty of course form that some of these don't have round Cheltenham. He's got the festival form. Obviously, he won the bumper 2 years ago, and then he was obviously second in the Supreme after making that blunder at the last. Would I be backing him? I wouldn't be backing him with my head. It'd be more with my heart. Now, one that I did mention to you lads at a flyer is Sharjah at 40 to 1. Now, I said Facile Vega has course form. Well, this lad's got his own stable at the course. He's been that many times. He's obviously second. He was obviously the runner-up to Wepatant and the likes of Honeysuckle a couple of times as well. He's just a lovable horse. And do you know what? If Willie manages to get him here, I think he'd be ridden off the pace. He'd be ridden to place, and at 40-1, I think you'll find worse each way bets than Charger this Cheltenham Festival. So for me, I think 40-1 is a big price. But like Lee said, I completely agree. I wouldn't be diving into anything because it is it's a shit race.
I'll jump in quickly. So I did speak to Maria. Hopefully she said she was going to watch. But she was saying that with Facile Vega, he was just slightly under par, so they had given him some vitamins just to try and perk him up. So he didn't have no injury or nothing like that. But hopefully he can step up and trip for my bet anyways. But that they were so disappointed at the Dublin Racing Festival. They're really gutted because he's been working the house down. He kind of laps Ilile Toms in pre-work. So he just needs to put it in on the track. And Leopardstown, he's disappointed at. Cheltenham, he hasn't. He hosed in the bumper and he was second in the Supreme. So hopefully he can show a lot more now.
Certainly an angle into the race with Facile Vega there. I'm going to go over to you, Jack, then. Final word on the Arkle. Do you buy this Facile Vega returning back, or are you maybe looking to take him on?
Oh, I'd definitely be looking to take him on. I think this race is absolutely screaming out for something to improve past them, to be honest. Ilete Tom, I think, could find Cheltenham a touch sharp, got there right at the end over the 2 mile and a furlong at Leopardstown, found 50, jumps out to his right. I don't know if he's actually good enough. I don't mind the Charger shout, to be honest, but Hunter's Yarn is one that I keep coming back to. He's the unexposed, kind of aesthetically pleasing one on paper, I think, and he absolutely cancelled all over them last time out at Fairy House, and bar the second last, which he absolutely fell through. I thought he jumped pretty well. I mean, he put 10 lengths between himself and Path Thoreau, who since went and finished second to Madara at Leopardstown in a listed race there, is now rated 139. And I thought he just oozed class. He was a useful hurdler. He definitely has the capability to step up and trip in the future. And I think if there is one who's going to improve past all of the other Willie Mullins horses, I think Hunter's Yarn. I think he's still a relatively decent price at around the 6-7-1 mark. So it'll be Hunter's Yarn for me to hopefully improve past the rest in an average Arkle field.
I agree with Hunter's Yarn. He's one of my 2 into this race. I'm keeping you in quiet here for a second, Harry. Hunter's Yarn, I agree with. But the one that is probably actually number 1 on my list, just about one for the British here, Master Chewy. And thank you to Ruby Walsh for backing me up on this as well. Look, I think he's got a good chance. If he can write off that last run in the Lightning Novices Chase, where he's nearly taken out the first fence by Matata, he's ran some great races. You know, he beats Nickelback by nearly 5 lengths, who's since won a Grade 1. He was sent off 4-6 for a handicap at Newbury, which is absolutely unheard of. Now he's beaten by Litchi Donuts. That form has been franked since winning a Grade 1, and also there must have been an incredible amount of confidence behind him to be sent off that short for a handicap around Newbury. I think he's got a great chance, and he's 20-1 odds. So I'd have him with the best of the Twist and Davis pair personally, and they've had the Arkle in mind for a while, and they've never wavered from that, even after that Lightning Novices Chase. So I'm with Master Chewy. Harry, do you want to say anything, or I'm gonna kick you out of the way?
I did see one of the comments. I did say it was a shit race. Well, I kind of take that back. I just think compared to what it was at the start of the year, I think it's definitely one of the lesser standard Arkles that we've seen in recent years. So that's what I meant by that.
Off_world has really put you in your place there. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Lads, we've got 2 races that have got 2 short prices. Champion Hurdle we are going to cover. Obviously, sad Constitution Hill is not in the race, so it makes the market look like this. State Man 2-5, Lossy Mouth 7-2, Irish Point 5-1, Not So Sleepy 14s. I'm going to do it slightly differently to usual. I'm going to throw up in the air. Does anyone have anything to take on State Man with?
No.
Lovely. Take your silence. That's beautiful there. I'm the only one who's silly enough to potentially take on State Man here. Zarak the Brave. You 2 lads laughed at me when it was Glorious Goodwood time for putting him up.
Still do.
For putting him up after the... I put him up after the Galway plate. It was a 50-1 shot at that point. He's now 16, so have your hammer. There's your value. But look, I think he's got a good chance. He's still improving. He's still only 5. And based on that form, if everyone thinks Lossy Mouth's a shoe-in for the mares, giving weight away to Lossy Mouth in his juvenile season and only finishing a length and a half behind her at Punchestown, I think that's really good form. And I just think he's a classy horse. I think he's got plenty of boot, and I'm just excited to see how he goes around Cheltenham, really. So he'd be my each way angle into the race at the Brave into the Champion Hurdle. But like a perfect segue there, the Mares Hurdle, Lossy Mouth is topping the market. Now, obviously, bit of debate whether Lossiemouth's going to go into the Champion Hurdle or the Mare's Hurdle. So the anti-post price, I think, from 365 is 4-5. Astro Diamond 4-1. Echoes in Rain 16s. Hispanic Moon and Love Envoi and Magical Zoe the same price, as well as Marie's Rock. Does everyone agree on Lossiemouth? Does anyone have any differing opinions to Lossiemouth?
What a price this is, Lee. What a price. 4-5. This is an absolute get stuck in job. Oh, my word. Listen, she's not going to switch. Why would they switch? Willie Mullins is renowned for just having his best chances going to the best races that they can win. And Lossiemouth is an absolute shoo-in in this, and Stateman's an absolute shoo-in in the Champion Hurdle. Why on earth would he switch these two? Like, it's just as simple as, Lee, I don't know what price the double is, but I mean, for those shorties that we've had a few fingers burnt from Constitution Hill and Co in the last couple of days, well, I think Lossiemouth and Stateman, they're going to be the ones that get us out of trouble on the first day. So yeah, get stuck in. I reckon.
Are you going to put your money where your mouth is, Harry, on Lossiemouth? This 4-5 for 365. You're going to put your money where?
Listen, if you have any football, I keep telling my friend, any football hackers, just stick these two in the end, because now honestly, she physically, what I saw last time at Cheltenham, all she has to do is get round. She just literally has to get round. So
I like it. Someone said 4-5 where. I'm going off the Racing Post page here. I'm assuming it's the anti-post price on 365, but I'm going to check.
It is. I'll double check for you right now.
Fantastic. Lee or Jack, do you have anything opinion differing to Lossiemouth?
If she does change into the Champion Hurdle, I would take a stab at maybe Love Envoi, who will handle the likely softer ground, and also maybe Tell Me Something Girl for Henry de Bromhead. He's going to run 3 here, he did say, and I think she might be overpriced. But yeah, look, I'd take a couple of swings at bigger prices, maybe against the likes of Ashwell.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
stuff.
I completely agree. I really want there to be a bit of pace injected here to test the stamina out, because she got away with a crawl last time at Cheltenham, and even the lovable Lord Glitters is in her pedigree. So I'd love a bit of stamina. I'd love her.
How have you managed to mention Lord Glitters on a Cheltenham preview night?
It's good, isn't it? It's good, isn't it? But no, I do want it to be tested out, but I just don't know where the pace is actually going to come from. And I completely agree with Tell Me Something Girl there. It ties in with the Out the Brave form that you were mentioning there, Ash. She went off 4-1 for the race in 2022. She won the Mare's Novice in 21. They sent her chasing, didn't work out. Thought she ran okay on her return to hurdles in December, but I thought she ran a really good race behind Out the Brave. Kept Paul Townend honest. I wouldn't really say too much up to his work, but I thought that was kind of have her prime for this. And she's around the 20-1 mark. It looks like she absolutely thrives over hurdles compared to fences. She stays 2.5 miles, and I think if there is a little bit of stamina tested for Lossiemouth there, hopefully she'll be able to pick up the pieces in second or third.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah, that 4-5 confirmed on my phone. It is with 365, and Anthony is saying Lossiemouth nap. There you go, 4-5. If you want it, Anto, and you've got an account, there it is. As is usual, I've got the each way loser in this race. Echoes in Rain. I'm going in again, another year. Look, I think she's settled. She's better. I think she's better than last year. She's settled.
No chance. No chance.
She settles better in her races. She'll get the 2.5, I think. And if she gets put into the race, I think she failed to get put into the race last year. I think she's the each way play in the contest for me. So that's enough of that racing. We're putting the National Hunt Chase and the Handicaps together, gentlemen. So we're going to fly around to all three of you. Jack, anything Handicaps wise or National Hunt Chase for the Tuesday? If not, what's sort of your best bet on the Tuesday?
I'd say best bet on the Tuesday is probably Hunter's Yarn. I'd say in the Ultima, one that's really intriguing me is Jungle Boogie from the Henry de Bromhead yard. He's a 10-year-old. He's only had 5 runs under rules, only 3 over fences, won a beginner's chase in an absolute canter for Willie Mullins, then had 700-day break, came out behind El Fabiolo in the hilly way, clearly too sharp for him, and then won last time at Tremor in a very stamina-sapping contest last time out. He's off a mark of 152. The Irish hate the Ultima, but he's a very interesting one at around the 20-1 mark.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much. Lee, Handicaps, National Hunt Chase, anything for you?
The National Hunt Chase is a bit of a riddle again, like the Arkle, I would have said. Look, you either think Corvus Cross can step it up and show his class and take that, but he's very short now, 74 market leader now that he's going there. But look, I did take a swing at Salvador Ziggy. Just I didn't know, who would come into the race, and it was a much bigger price at the time. a Chianti Classico, being really well backed. I'm unsure whether he's going to be kind of the chosen one from the Kim Bailey team. I know you did report that he fancied this Trelawney as well, who could frank the form of Cribilli, who I really do fancy later on in the week in the plate. But I do like Twig as well, who's been saved for the race. If that horse gets in, I think has a good chance. And like Jack says, though, will the Irish win it? Stumptown is probably still on a fair mark. Only put up £5 for its last win there. I did see Keith Donoghue mention this horse and say it's got a fair chance, only being put up £5. And I am on Lock in the Morning at a bigger price. I didn't know whether to get in the race. Look, it come there. I know, get the hammer. It come there swinging, but look, I wouldn't back it at this price. That was kind of my point. I wouldn't back it at this price. It's a mess of a race some years. You've got to be really well handicapped, but there's probably 10 to 15 really well handicapped, if you know what I mean. On a mark of 1-2-2 now, definitely gets the run. But the Ballymore boys, they did get on this Uzi party at around 50s, I was told. And this was case that Lock in the Morning didn't get into the race. But now I think they've gambled it to 10s and the shrewd connections, let's say. So, yeah, look, Uzi Party is probably the H3 one. We do like Batman Girac, but whether 1-3-3 is a fair mark or not, I'm unsure. But Lock in the Morning prefers better ground, but should come there swinging off that mark.
Yes, I'm with you on O's Partir. He is one of 3 for the Boodles for me, so I do apologise. Yeah, Batman Girac agree. So if you like sort of a confidence between me and Lee, Batman Girac and O's Partir are the 2 that I like. I've loved Batman Girac all season. He's a bit of a Fruit Loop, but if he gets it right, I think he could be a class above these. And O's Partir, I think, is the classic Martin Brazel with those connections for a Cheltenham handicap. Really is. I think he travelled really nicely in the last race, but just was never going to win, basically. And I think he's got a really attractive mark. The other one in that race for me, the Boodles, is Liari, just a proper solid horse for Paul Nicholls. I think if they come here with him, he's got a good chance of just being better than the rest. Meeting of the Waters and Trelawn in the Ultima for me. I do respect Chianti Classico massively, but Trelawn, I think just the step up to 3 miles could eke out a bit more of improvement because he's a 3 mile novice hurdle winner. And Meeting of the Waters, I want to keep on side because he could be too good for these. I think he's a national horse, and if he's a national horse and they've got him 100% ready for the Ultima, he should be winning that race. So yeah, those are the 2 for me. And the National Hunt Chase, Kilbeg King is the one I've landed on. I said in a recent video it's Derek O'Connor riding it, but I've been put in my place. It's not Derek O'Connor, it's Will Biddick, and my mistakes there. But he's 12-1 each way. I think that Reynoldstown form will be quite nice. And if he sorts out his jumping and the staying test should really suit him, I like Kilbeg King. Harry, final word to you. Handicaps, National Hunt Chase, anything for yourself?
Yeah, I was quite keen on Broadway Boy, but obviously he's not going to the National Chase anymore. I can't obviously not mention, seeing as we are sponsored by Old Gold, Arkle Away is going to be running on the Tuesday. She needs a bit of luck to get in to the Ultima. Novices have a great record in the race, and actually Lucinda is very, very confident in her chances. So if she gets in, I think she has a great chance. She's 16-1 at the minute. And one in the Boodles that I've been sweet on for quite a while now is Nara for Henry de Bromhead. JP has 2, I think, at the minute. Melantino, in which John Joe Jr. has ridden on both starts since coming over to Britain. So that means Mark Walsh, who obviously we know is arguably going to have the JP's first pick. He's obviously going to be riding Nara, I believe. So 16-1 she is currently. I did mention her at 33. So again, get those hammers out. But I think this horse is just screaming Boodles, and I think she's very, very good. She finished a length behind the winner of the last race, in which she Eagle Fang. That was in a maiden hurdle behind Nürburgring, but she was given a pretty quiet time of things in a race at Naas, which has thrown up plenty of Boodles winners, including last year's winner Jazzy Matty. So yeah, Nara at 16s for the Boodles. I think she has a great chance.
Brilliant stuff, lads. Thank you very much. Just one comment before we go over to our first interview from Sam Hart. Price on Karis Titan to ride at Cheltenham Festival winner. Jack, can you give us a price?
Unfortunately, I think he's gonna be gearing up for the Hong Kong Derby, Sam. So I don't think he'll be going over. But he'd be an odds-on shot. The Magic Magician.
The Magic Magician. We're moving on then, gentlemen, to our first item of the show, and we're moving on to an interview with Ella McNeill. We're going to bring her in from the background. Ella, how are you on this evening? We're 7 days out from the Cheltenham Festival. Excitement levels must be building now.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. Yeah, can't wait. I literally can't believe it's next week. It's come around so soon. I swear it was Christmas last week, but no, really looking forward to it.
Brilliant stuff. And we're going to sort of talk a little bit about the McNeill horses with you. First of all, I suppose the one is on the National Hunt Chase with Free Card Bragg. What's the story of him? Is he still an intended runner? Is he likely to head over to Cheltenham?
Yeah, he's not the easiest horse, Gordon says, to train. And so some days he's sweet on him and some days he's like, oh, I'm not sure. So we're still not 100% sure, if I'm honest. He does his last piece of work tomorrow. So we'll really have a bit more of a firm idea of how he is after that. And my preference would be to go to the National Hunt Chase. I think especially if it turns up, on the softer side of good, I think it'll be made for him, and I'm really sweet on him going into that race. But if he doesn't go, then he'll go to the Irish National a couple of weeks later. So, and also my dad's mad keen on going to the Irish National. You look at the prize money between that and a National Hunt Chase, and you get the same prize money for winning a National Hunt Chase than you do coming third in an Irish National. So it's a bit of a head and heart decision, but I'd love to see him in line up in the National Hunt Chase. That's got my vote.
It's got your vote for sure. And you might be representing the Irish National anyway. Is it where it all began? You potentially got a runner in that as well?
Yeah, exactly. We don't need to have two in the race. I know it's the Irish National, but spread your risk and all that. But no, where it all began won the national trial a couple of weeks ago, really impressively. That was quite unexpected, not going to lie. We thought he'd run nicely, but not that well. And he beat that Mullins horse who was off a featherweight. And we were absolutely thrilled to bits. We had a good weekend with 300 3-5 winning the day before. So I think the hangover lasted about 3 or 4 days. But yeah, where it all began heads to the Irish National as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, you beat the Mullins horse there. Johnny Deneen called an absolute certainty in the Irish national trial there. So you've done something right there at least. A couple of horses on my list for yourselves at Cheltenham. One of them I was down at Fergal's the other day, and Tiori. He was sort of a little bit sweet on this horse for the Boodles. Can you tell us a little bit more about him?
Yeah, well, Paddy's been on the phone saying he's one of the most improved horses in the yard, and I'm like, oh, Paddy, I'll believe it when I see it. But no, he's a lovely juvenile, come off the flat. We've not had him long. He's run 3 times for us and won twice, and won impressively those 2 times. Beating his performance not worked out not too badly, but he disappointed up. In the second race that he ran in for us, jumped terribly that day and just didn't enjoy himself. So I think you can kind of put a line through that. But he goes here fresh, and he's off again super lightweight. Touch wood, he gets in. I think he's 120, so we'll be keeping our fingers crossed. I think we need at least kind of 6 or 7 to come out, but hopefully he'll get in.
Fingers crossed, yeah. Fingers crossed for sure. One that you'll have to thank Megan Nichols for saying on ITV Racing on the weekend. Quebecois was her sort of outsider for the whole festival, and he's going to the champion bumper. I've been down to Nichols. They seem to be quite sweet on this horse. But what's the story of Quebecois? Obviously, they've got Tishan in the race, but he shouldn't be sniffed at either.
Yeah, I think obviously Tishan's got a big reputation, hasn't he? And Tom Malone's saying that he's the best thing he's ever seen, and obviously winning that point by however many lengths, 40 lengths or something ridiculous. But I think Nichols kind of rates them on a similar par, and I think the reason why the price discrepancy there is simply because he's obviously a talking horse, Tishan, and rightly so. And I think he won well in that time, but I wasn't absolutely overawed with him. But again, Quebecois is similar run to Tishan, I guess. Both ran at Exeter, both winning well. So I'd be very interested to see how they compare. But yeah, we're really confident going in. Again, Captain T third in the race last year at 40s. I think 40 to 1 he went off, didn't he? So Meg slashed the price on the weekend, but no, I think he goes with a lovely chance and has maybe gone not under the radar anymore, but before Meg's comments, I think he was slightly under the radar, and he's a horse we think of the world of. So yeah, we're excited.
Look, you've got a very exciting team going forward, and I suppose he is a really exciting horse, especially for novice hurdles next season. And I know Paul's been purring about him to go novice hurdling next season. He sort of holds him in that same regard as Captain Teague, so that must be really exciting to sort of be part of the ownership for a horse like that.
Yeah, for sure. And he's actually one we've syndicated out slightly. So we've got 5 or 6 guys in our village actually that have all come into him, which is great to like get their support and to do it with a group of like mates as well. So it's like a couple of their first race, like ever race horses, and they're absolutely buzzing to have like whatever price he is now. I think 16 is the last time I checked, 16 to 1 shot for the champion bumper. So they're just having the time of their lives, enjoying the ride with Quebecois. But yeah, exactly. He's a horse for the future. He is a bit of a, like, if I had one slight gripe, it maybe he is inexperienced and he's a bit of a big baby. And I think another year and on his back and another summer on his back will do him the world of good. So yeah, definitely one to watch for when he jumps an obstacle next season.
Brilliant stuff. Looking at general, is there any horse I've missed for the Cheltenham Festival that you might be running, or if not, is there maybe one that could be sort of heading out later this season that maybe one to keep an eye on with the McNeill family name next to it?
Yeah, we've got a really exciting couple of months coming up. There's a horse that has done the hat trick on the all weather called Spartan Army that won. He's won 3 times on the bounce on the all weather after coming back from, he had quite a bad like respiratory infection and he was fading in his races, and we thought we'd investigate it, and turns out, yeah, he had a bit of a lung problem. So we treated him for that, and he's honestly been a different horse ever since. And he goes to the all weather finals on Good Friday up at Newcastle. So we've been booking today our big trip up to Newcastle for that. So we're really looking forward to running him. And I think Tritonic then goes to a race at Musselburgh on the flat the next day, and then we fly over to Dublin for the Irish National on the Monday. So Easter weekend's going to be either a really great time or a really bad time. But yeah, a couple of exciting ones. And then I think Thunder Rock, I saw he got put up £10 for his win on the weekend, which I thought was a bit harsh, but kind of forces our hand now into graded company. And he goes to the bowl at Aintree, which we're really looking forward to. And I think Aintree will be a track that suits him well. He needs a flat track. He doesn't enjoy the undulations of a track like Cheltenham because he does struggle sometimes with his jumping. So Thunder Rock's an exciting one. And also we've got Masaccio in the Sefton. He will have a prep race sometime before then and head there on the Saturday, I think it is as well, on Aintree.
Brilliant stuff. Finally, very finally, looking elsewhere, taking the McNeill family tinted glasses off, is there one horse for the Cheltenham Festival that's maybe your nap, or you've maybe sort of you do the rounds, you do race day TV, you go around these places? Is there one horse that you're really excited to see that potentially maybe some of us haven't heard of, or might be one that people have heard of?
It's so difficult, isn't it? Like to pick a nap, because you're just picking all the bloody Willie Mullins favourite, and it's so boring. But it's so hard to go against them. Like when I saw Lossie Mouth that day, and I think she's a certainty. Like especially at 4 to 5, like get on. So yeah, Lossie Mouth, I'm so sweet on. I think she's a better mare this year. I think 2.5 miles will suit her down to a T. I mean, I would love to see her run in a champion hurdle, and I think getting that allowance, I can understand obviously why they're doing it and not running, but I would absolutely love her to see her line up against the boys, and maybe next year we'll see that. But yeah, very boring. That would have to be my nap of the whole meeting. I think, yeah, sorry to be boring.
Don't worry, you'll have the backing of Harry and Lee there for sure. So you've got them on side. Ella, thanks very much for coming on. Really appreciate your time this evening. And we wish you the best of luck with the McNeill horses for the rest of the season and onwards. So yeah, wish you the best of luck and have a good Cheltenham.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the week next week.
Cheers, Ella. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
That was Ella McNeill there, the McNeill family horses. Fantastic to hear from her. And they've got a fantastic team going into the Cheltenham Festival. Now, we're not done with our interviews. We've got one more we're going straight into. Now, I know people were saying, I hope this one's live. And it is a live preview. But unfortunately, this is a pre-recorded interview. But I think the guest makes up for it. We've got Danny Mullins. We spoke to us three, me, Harry and Lee, spoke to Danny Mullins earlier this week on his Cheltenham Festival rides and just the whole Willie Mullins team. So again, a little bit of insight into the Mullins team. We're going to play that for you now. We've got part 1 coming up now, so we've got a couple of minutes on this, and I'll be back for day 2 preview. So don't go anywhere, and let's enjoy this Danny Mullins interview.
We are pleased to welcome Danny Mullins to the Only Fools Love Horses show, fresh from his 3 Grade 1 winners at the Dublin Racing Festival. Danny, are you in good form?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, it's been a good year so far, and fingers crossed we can keep that going into the next big festival we have around the corner.
Yeah, how you feeling going in? We've got 1 week to go. You're going to have plenty of rides. You're a man in demand, and the team are close certain there. They've got plenty of strong contenders going into different races. Are you in good form at home and all the horses working well?
Yeah, all seem to be going well at the moment. You know, Fernie Hollow obviously won't make it. Maureen has picked up a minor injury as well, but everything else seems to be in great order, and fingers crossed they all stay in good shape during the week and get over there and give a good account of themselves.
Yeah, good stuff. Look, we've got a few to rattle through, so we'll go through each day. Maybe just let us know about how the team's going. And first of all, we've got the Supreme. Everybody wants to kick off with a good winner. Is the hype real with this Ballyburn? Are you all on board with Ballyburn? And do you think is one of the stronger contenders from your yard?
Yes, I think like he's very good. You know, he's got beat the first day, but definitely improved a savage amount from that. Bolted up in Leopardstown, dropped back to 2 miles to win at the Dublin Festival and looked very good there. You know, I probably was thinking early on there was a chance he was going to go for the Barring Bingham, but it looks like now he's going for the Supreme if the betting is to be any guide on that. So that's a typical Willie Mullins move now. He's you know, and keep you guessing. And I think he could win either race. I thought it might possibly be easier for him to win the Barring Bingham, but you know, he's a class horse and he'll take all the beating here. Tully Hill is a very good horse, but for me, he needed to jump a little bit faster than he did in Punchestown. Jericho de Rapone was okay, I suppose, in Doncaster. The team there, for me, would be delighted to see the form got boosted, but for me, they have to improve to get to Ballyburns level.
Yeah, fair dues. And what about the Arkle? You did win on Illilay Toms there at the Dublin Racing Festival, bagged a grade 1 with him. Can he step forward again and have a live chance in the Arkle?
Yeah, like the Arkle can often be a race where there's probably a standout horse, and I think this year there's maybe 1 of 5 that can win it, which will make it a great race. You know, Marine National, I don't know, did he get found out? Was it his wind that caught him? You know, I'm fairly sure he had a wind operation before he ran this year. And Barry Connell seems very positive about him at the moment in any of the interviews he's doing, which is good for him to see. But I think, you know, in Leopardstown, a truly run race the whole way through, I just can't be on Marine National for that. Facile Vega was the one I thought might have been a main danger to me in Cheltenham. It looks like he's going for the turners now, and Found a 50 looks a very solid yardstick the whole way through the season. So I think it could be a case of Illilay Tom and Found a 50 maybe they're battling it out, but could Paul Townend be coming to rob my fella in that one where he to be the only runner? That's probably what will happen.
It's interesting stuff because jockey arrangements are still being decided, and of course Willie Mullins bingo is still being played, I would have said. What about the likes of Gallagher and the mares, and maybe is it Echoes and Rain? Can you pick up them type of rides and how they go in the mares? Are they in contention for like a champion hurdle against Stateman and even Constitutional if he turns up?
I think, yeah, champion hurdle wise, I think it's Constitution Hill's race to lose. You know, there's all the chat about the wrong scope and this and that, but it was a sickness. It wasn't an injury. I think a horse, after a few days, like a human, if you have the flu, you rest for a few days, you get over it and you come back again. That was his last strong bit of work. I'd imagine he has all his fitness already banked once he freshens up and goes for Cheltenham. Even if he's not at 100% Constitution Hill, he's probably the one you'd still like to be on. That said, Stateman is really going to give him a rattle of it, and Stateman is going there all guns blazing. So that makes what was a race that was, you know, already we had the result. It'll make it a proper race now, which will be nice and interesting. And mares hurdle wise, could Lossiemouth go for the champion hurdle? Who knows? If she was to go and I was to get back on her, the once I won on her, she gave me a huge feel. I'd love to be in there were that ride coming available, but who knows? I'd imagine Willie's usual tactic is go for the race you're most likely to win, and she's an odds-on chance for the Mayor's hurdle. And the way she won the last day, you'd have to think, she's going to take beating there. But the one concern, she's a 5-year-old and 2.5 miles on what could be very soft ground. I don't know if she's the absolute banker of odds-on shots through the week. I thought all the way through the year last year, the way Gallagher Marceau won in Auteuil, that 2.5 around Cheltenham, a truly run race would be ideal. But her run in Punchestown the last day, it just disappointed somewhat. And the winner of that race, Hispanic Moon, I thought was very tough on the day and still at double figure odds. I think she could be a lively each-way contender in the race for Henry de Bromhead.
All right, Danny, so I'm going to talk about your day 2 and the start of day 3. So obviously we start in the Bearing Bingham. There's plenty in there. I'll also bring in the Champion Chase as well, because Willie also has the strong favourite in El Fabiolo. Is the Bearing Bingham, we've got Mystical Power. Would he be the one to beat in there?
I thought he was a fast horse. The way he quickened down the straight in Punchestown, I thought he was a real supreme horse, and maybe the McManus team want to avoid Ballyburn. That could be the reason he's going there. They also have another one, Jericho, the Rapone, for the Supreme. So I had him down as a Supreme horse. The trip might find him out here, but he's a type of horse that at home probably doesn't show huge amount in his work and stuff. So he seems to really keep it for the track. The one I thought maybe had a solid chance and was becoming a forgotten horse is Predator's Gold. Probably ran too keen over 2.6 in Leopardstown at the Dublin Festival. I think he's a solid contender there. And, reading Tommy wrong, Il Atlantique are closely matched on their nace form. But Predator's Gold is the one for me that could be forgotten slightly.
And John Bon El Fabiolo, that was the clash built up, and obviously John Bon disappointed, but El Fabiolo, nicknamed as the Tank, almost Denman-esque by plenty in Willie's yard. Is he just a good thing in the Champion Chase?
I think so. A known form, if he turns up, I can't see anything beating him. As the odds-on shots go, I think he's fairly solid.
Cool, good stuff. And the Turners, you did mention about Facile Vega maybe going in here. If Paul decided to ride Facile Vega, would you possibly get the leg up on Gaelic Warrior, who we now know is going to go over? We don't know what race, but he might be going there.
I'd love to get to ride on him, but Patrick's won a grade 1 on him at Christmas, so there's a chance Patrick could be riding him there as well. But if the ride were available, I'd love a go on him. Doesn't particularly like Cheltenham, but who knows? He's still got a big engine.
Just on, I know we've got time here, but just on Gaelic Warrior, do you think he can bounce back to sort of what we saw pre-Dublin Racing Festival? Do you think he's still sort of like got that ability to show?
I think so. He came out of Dublin Festival quite well, and somewhat like Constitution Hill, I think it might have been just a bit of a sickness on the day rather than the horse being gone for the season.
We're back. Thank you very much for Danny Mullins for that interview there. Really appreciate his time. And we've got a part 2 coming up towards the end of the video. But he gives up one for the handicaps, doesn't he, lads? We asked one, and he gave one that wasn't on my radar for the handicaps from the camp. So fingers crossed we can find a nice one there. We'll kick on back into the action. We're on day 2 now, and the Gallagher Novices Hurdle is where we start things. Look, Danny Mullins spoke about Ballyburn there and spoke about how he thinks Mystical Power is a speed horse, and the exchanges may be telling one story, but as we see things currently, Ballyburn is a 6-4 foul, Slade Steel 9-2, Il Atlantique 5s, Mystical Power 11-2, reading Tommy wrong 8s, and Predator's Gold, the one that has maybe been forgotten about in Danny Mullins' words, he is in there at 10-1. Jack, I'll come over to you. How do you see the Bearing Bingham as we know it now, but the Gallagher as a new sponsor? How do you see this race playing out? Would you be wanting to stick with Ballyburn if he turned up here?
Yeah, I mean, who knows what the name's going to be in 2 days' time? We've got different ones coming all over the place now. But yeah, you definitely have to be with Ballyburn. Look, as we've all said, he'll probably win either race that he goes for. But I think you kind of have to look without him, just in case he doesn't go there. And I completely agree with Danny Mullins. I think Predator's Gold is just chronically underrated here. I thought it was a really good performance in the Nathaniel Lacey. It was against the pattern of the race. He was towards the rear. He was a little bit keen. He stayed on well enough, I thought. Of course, he won over 2 mile 3 at Punchestown. And then I thought he ran a great race behind Caldwell Potter. He travelled so strongly that day, but they crawled home at pretty much a 95% finishing speed. So it was very stamina sapping over 2 miles. And I thought the race didn't really pan out for him. And I think he's almost been a little bit of a Goldilocks there over 2 miles and 2 mile 6. I think the 2 mile 5 in the Ballymore, the Gallagher or the Bearing Bingham or whatever you want to call it. I think it's going to be kind of rock solid for him. He looks like he brings the rock solid form there. I'd love to forgive Il Atlantique. I think I'd probably happily back him as a win bet if Ballyburn doesn't come here. But if Ballyburn does, I really fancy Predator's Gold to perhaps even serve it up to him. If he doesn't come here, I think he's a cracking bet at a double figure price.
Caldwell Potter form, you've got my attention for sure with Predator's Gold. Lee, how do you see the Gallagher?
I didn't even know what you meant.
We're starting the trend. It's the Gallagher now, all right? It's a good name. It's the Gallagher.
Look, I think I'm still on the Neptune here, but anyways, look, Ballyburn again. He'll win it if he goes. I do like Gidley Park in this. If he doesn't go, and I also like Slade Steel. I think Slade Steel is a classy animal. It's just they're probably going to dodge wherever Ballyburn does rock up. We'll speak to Rob and maybe hopefully find out which way they're going to lean to, or maybe there's a preference there. But yeah, look, Gidley Park, I think he was just learning on the job again. He bolted up at Newbury and then on the course the last day, I think he won it well. I know you're a fan of the runner up there. I just think he's just a big horse that's learning on the job. So I think I'd back Gidley Park each way if Ballyburn didn't rock up. I think the Mullins horses and their pack will make up the market, so they've got plenty to chuck about, let's say. And look, he might be kind of overlooked for the home team.
Yeah, I agree with you on Gidley Park there. He was the one that I wanted as an each-way selection. He's a big horse, but the vibe from Harry Fry's yard at the start of the season was this is a serious horse. And I think, got a good chance here, Gidley Park. I think the form, a bit underrated, I'd say. Beating Firefly has come out since to really thank the form and that Lucky Place and Isaac de Zobo and Johnny Who form. I think that's quite nice. He's got that form around the track as well. I'd much prefer to see him in this race than I would to see him in the Albert Bartlett for sure. I think he's a big horse, but I just think this trip would suit him nicely. Harry, what about you? Final word.
Look, I think it all evolves around Ballyburn. So there's not much that we need to really talk about, because if he does go, I think he wins. If he didn't, I'd actually see. I really won't reading Tommy wrong, but the exchanges say he's got no chance because I think he's going to go for the Albert Bartlett, whereas Il Atlantique is staying pretty strong, and it was between those two in the Lawless Nace and Il Atlantique. You can, if you watch the Paul Townend interview, I think with Racing TV. Where he was with Dan Skelton, he just mentioned how much he loves this horse, Il Atlantique, and he did nothing wrong. He just got nabbed last time out. He had to make all of his own donkey work, but he did still run well. And I think Il Atlantique is a very good horse. Slade Steel obviously brings the Ballyburn form into the equation, but it's a race right now that I wouldn't be diving into because you just don't know where Ballyburn's going in it. This race evolves around him.
Yeah, for sure. But I do agree with you in Atlantique. If Ballyburn doesn't turn up, I've chucked up a comment on the YouTube. Who's your day 2 nat? We've got one come in, Delta Work day 2 nat from Finn Dog. We've got another one saying Echoes in Rain wouldn't even win if she started now. So one that's not a fan, maybe Echoes in Rain shout for the Mare's Hurdle. But game of opinions and all. So yeah, that's our summary of the Gallagher, starting a trend there. But the one that hasn't changed sponsorship, the Brown Advisory, is the next race we're going to talk about. And this is one where in the last sort of few hours, in the last 24 hours, Tony Mullins believes the favourite in the race Factor File could be a Gold Cup horse and would beat Galopin de Champs. Even money there. Stay Away Faye 3-1. Monty Star 11-2. Grey Dawning 7s. Lee, we'll be hearing a bit more about Grey Dawning from Nick Pearce, head lad at Dan Skelton's, after we do day 2. But what do you see the Brown Advisory like? Would you be with Factor File here or looking to take him on?
I wouldn't take him on. He's a bit short. I've missed the boat, let's say. I am on Monty Star at a bigger price. I maybe just let the race play out. I really do.
What price, Lee? What price?
For who? Monty's.
Monty
You
Star.
may as well share with the group.
You had cuppas. You had cuppas at what price?
68s on the exchange as it was.
Aye.
But like, look, I can lay it off now and still have a free bet in the race, really. But I wouldn't take Factor Fail on. I just feel like I've missed the boat. I think he's probably the most likely winner. He's looked very classy in a few runs there. I was on him in the bump. I feel like I've been denied in that bump last season, but plenty of winners have come out of that, and he showed a good turn the last day there. And yeah, look, he's the likely winner. I'll let maybe it's the Monty Star one just ride out. Related to Monolith, the same colours as Manila Indoor. For connections, they buy them type of horses, and the a solid jumper beats 3-card Bragg of the McNeills there. So I thought that was a solid performance the last day. Just he needs to step up again though, that for sure. And look, if Great Dawning turns up, yeah, I probably will back Great Dawning and just hope the favourite maybe doesn't rock up. But I do prefer Great Dawning for the turners, I would have to say.
Brilliant stuff. Harry, yourself, Brown Advisory, how do you see this race in your eyes?
Yeah, look, you have to respect what the camp are pretty much saying about Factor File, because it's almost Imperi Pass-esque from last year. Remember, this horse was kind of just going around the circuits. Well, it seems like Factor File is that horse this year. It's a race that, if that wasn't the case, I think that the Skeltons would send Grey Dawn into here, but it seems I'm sure we'll find out pretty soon which kind of idea that they're going towards. But I'd love to see Grey Dawn in this race. He obliterated the field. Obviously, when he was at Warwick, I think a strong pace. He'll get a good pace to aim at, I think, and he'll get a good pace in to aim at in the turners. Don't get me wrong, but I just think over 3 miles it'd seem in better light. But I just think the most natural chaser in this field is Monty Star. I think he jumps like an absolute bug, and I actually rewatched the race where he battered 3-card Bragg, and obviously we had Ella on just a minute ago. But Monty Star, I mean, fairly put him in his place, and Henry's Yard seemed pretty bullish about this horse, and I think 11-2 is a good price. I can't have Stairway Faye. I just can't have him. I know people are saying it's a good run last time out. I'm not denying that, but I just think that it's not. I just can't warm to him, if you know what I mean. And Factor File, if anything, I'd just be against him purely on the fact of his price. What's he beaten? I mean, he beat Zanna here. I think, and then Gaelic Warrior in a match race where Danny Mullins, if you watch the interview, he said he didn't really like going left-handed. So, what is the form actually worth? And I'm not sure it does equate to much. But you have to obviously respect how they are going on about this horse. He could be a rocket, he could be slow as a boat, but I wouldn't want to be taking him on. But I think Monty Star's a decent price.
Expert analysis. Could be a rocket, could be slow as a boat. Expert there. Really, really getting between the lines there from you, Harry. I love it. We've got comments flying in as we talk about this. Factor File pisses up Nap. Someone clapping your 68s there. Factor File by 17 lengths. There seems to be a bit of confidence behind Factor File. Jack, do you have that confidence as well?
To an extent, to be honest, I don't see why they'd send Grey Dawning here. I think he's more suited to a 3-mile trip, but in their head, they kind of just need to beat Janice Destiny, and they were being away weight to Janice Destiny at Cheltenham when they eventually got beaten by Janice Destiny. So I completely understand why they send Grey Dawning there. I think he's got a stellar chance if he went to either, to be fair. But Factor File, I think, is a perfect watching brief this race. I completely agree with Monty Star. At Punchestown last time out, he jumped like a buck, didn't he? I mean, you wouldn't have thought he was a novice. He looked like a seasoned veteran there, but he did it in very good style, beating 3-card Bragg there. Stairway Fair, I'll probably give him a little bit more credit for that run against Capodanno, against his elders, to be honest. It wasn't. The Cotswolds is sometimes a bit of a grueling, tricky race. I think sometimes it's a little bit of an overlooked race as well when you look at the past winners of that and who's actually running it in behind. But to even kind of get within so close in three lengths of a seasoned veteran like Capodanno, I think he probably does need a little bit more respect, but I think it's just a perfect watching brief from my angle.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I love all three horses. I think they're really good. Look, if we're getting the hammers out, I put up Monty Start at the start of the season, horse to follow. I'm just happy we've got this far with the horse, to be honest, to be contesting a grade 1 at Cheltenham. That's good enough for my horse to follow. And he'd probably be the one I side with at the prices. But I do respect all three massively. I think Stay Away Faye's a really good horse. In fact, File, I like to get the stopwatch out, as you two lads will know. And the time of that Leopardstown win, I know it was a match race, but he managed to go to the clip of Gaelic Warrior and then some, carry it on after Gaelic Warrior sort of faded out. So yeah, I like it. At least
I might as well get your bingo cards crossed off now. So Grey Dawning beat Apple Away, and Stay Away Fair was just behind the Real Wacker. So there you go. I've crossed off one of your bingo cards for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes. We'll move on, gentlemen. That's our assessment of the Brown Advisory. We probably need to pick up the time slightly, but we can save a little bit here with the Queen Mother, because it is like a couple of the races at the Cheltenham Festival this year. Looks like it might be just going to Willie Mullins, El Fabiolo 2-1 on, John Bond 7-2, Edwardstone 8s, Captain Guinness 20-1, 25s Bar. Very similar to Champion Hurdle and the Mayor's Hurdle here, gentlemen. Any opposition to El Fabiolo, or we shall move on?
Can I give you the one?
John Bond.
El Fabiolo will beat John Bon, who will beat Captain Guinness, because I think Edwardstone will fade away.
We'll get that TriCast shouted out. Harry, you are El Fabiolo, are you? Are you? I know you're a John.
No, John.
Bon.
Yeah, John Bon. Yeah,
I
think I'm just. No. I'm staying with John Bon. Look, I think he's kind of becoming a horse that you want him to be, that he's not, but I still think the talent's there. And I'm hoping that Edwardstone goes that much of a clip that El Fabiolo, even though he hasn't looked like falling, he kind of makes a hash of one, and it hands it to John Bond. So, but even then, he's got to pass the jumping test, because he clattered the fourth last time, and he served up a 3-course meal with it. So yeah.
There you go. 1-1 against El Fabiolo. John Bont for Harold. Gentlemen, we'll move on then to we've shoved these races together. Champion Bumper, cross country, handicaps. Fly around the three of you. Harry, you had something to say there on the Queen Mother. Do you have anything to say about a handicaps, Champion Bumper, or cross country? Yeah,
Gallagher Dairies was one of my really good fancies for the Champion Bumper. This horse, obviously it's disappointing that Maureen isn't going, but Gallagher Dairies, I think he's the best Irish horse coming from that side of the seat by a mile. I think he'll smash the Brits as well. And his timings, I'm not massive a time fan, Ash, but I did tell you about when he beat Redemption Day. He fairly put him in his place, and I always thought Redemption Day was a quick horse, and it shows that Gallagher Dairies, although he stays on well, he's got to turn a foot as well. So Gallagher Dairies, you can run it at 6-1 as well, which I thought that would come clipping in, but it seemingly hasn't. Manella Indo, this horse apparently been jumping the banks since he was a very, very young horse, and look, he's had two very good runs over the banks this year at Cheltenham. He's a former Gold Cup winner. He brings the class, and it might just go to the Bromhead yard this year. Regarding any of the handicaps, I think obviously you've got to respect. We'll learn more about Langer Dan, but No Ordinary Joe, wherever he goes, I think he's got a massive chance. So yeah, there's one for the handicaps.
Just popped into my head now you mentioned the horse Langer Dan. It's just popped into my head who's Langer Dan's biggest fan. He's in the call with us. Unfortunately, Jack.
Why have I mentioned it?
Why? Well, no. There is severe ingrain on my head from last year's Coral Cup of seeing an epic song beaten by Langer Dan. Can't believe it. Are you with him? I'll come to you, Jack. It's a seamless segue. Are you with the man, the Dan? Are you with him in the cross country in the Coral Cup this year?
Oh, look, he's just far too short, isn't he? I think it would be brilliant if they did go and do it, because it's the most blatant bit of getting his mark down that's been seen, and I think there's so much unnecessary abuse probably hurled towards the Skelton yard for the fact that at least they're doing it in plain sight. At least we can actually back him if we want to. Look, I know Dan's been saying that he hasn't been working too well. Hopefully over the last couple of weeks he's been working a bit better. It'd be someday if he did go back and win the Coral Cup again. There's actually probably two for me in the Coral Cup. One's Ballyadam, who's now rated only 144. Since he's gone back over hurdles, he's only had the one run, and he was third to Irish Point there in the Christmas hurdle. I think the step back to 2 mile 5. He was, of course, fifth in the county last year of 148. He's £4 lower than that, and he's 20-1 And the other is Guard Your Dreams. He was only rated 137, £2 higher than he was when he contested this race a couple of years ago. He was off for 660 days, but I was actually really impressed with his run in the international hurdle. He was last behind Lossiemouth, beaten 12 lengths, but I thought he actually showed that he still retains plenty of ability. Run behind the Nemean line probably wasn't as great, but he's got dropped £3 for that off 137. I think he's got a decent chance. And in the bumper, I think the yellow clays are pretty canny each way bet, to be honest. Big the yellow clay fan, pretty impressive on debut at Leopardstown. Back that up in a listed race, and the race at Dublin Racing Festival, we got obviously travelled into the race powerfully, got checked at a time when he didn't want to be, lost some momentum, but responded well, and on the first tap of the saddle ran on well. So I think he's still a backable each way price, the yellow clay. So there's 3 for me there from the handicaps and the bumper.
Brilliant stuff. The yellow clay, Lee, that must be music to your ears. You're a big fan of him in the bumper.
Yeah, I love the yellow clay. I'm really strong on this horse. I absolutely got snatched up coming off the home bend there at the Dublin Racing Festival. Lost probably about 5 lengths, stayed on really well, just denied for third there. And look, Jericho Marchand's not going to go. The winner there was only beaten 2 3/4 or so behind You Ought to Know, who I think's probably the danger in the race. But yeah, look, this yellow clay, if you go and watch the run back, like, it's a real eye catcher. Won a listed race. I'm really strong on that one in the bumper. And in Excelsius Duo, it's a one I've backed a few times, fell the last day, but the form of the run at Cheltenham, it was behind Dancing on Your Own, who won the Red Rum at Aintree. In there was Triple Trade, who's come out and franked the form. Not long till May was in there. Look, stayed on really well and flew home. I think is still fairly handicapped in Excelsius Duo. And then Frere Dom from the Skeltons. Nick will let we know about that one. But Liberty Hunter as well. Won well the last day again at Cheltenham. Beat Matata, who's franked the form there with JPR1 as well at Lingfield. So, yeah, look, I think there's 3 in that Grand Annual. In Excelsius Duo, Frere Dom and Liberty Hunter. But the yellow clay on the Wednesday is my nap.
I wish you could see my scribbled down notes here on this piece of paper, but you won't be able to see it on the bottom. I've got 4 horses wrote down, right? Okay, for the Grand Annual. In Excelsius Dio, Frere Darms, Liberty Hunter. The one I'm actually strongest on is Pinkerton for Noel Mead. I think this has got a good chance, Pinkerton. 138, 2 runs ago. I think it's 3 runs ago is behind Imagine, who's won the Craddock Town since. Good performance there. Was then third to Mr. Policeman, and again putting a really good performance that day. Last time out didn't really work for him, but it's off a massive break. He should be sharp for this race, and he's off a fantastic way. I think Pinkerton's got a great chance at the Grand Annual, but I do rate all of your chances there. I probably have in Excelsius Dio bottom the list because I think that Frere Darms on pure form and sort of like working out the weights together with each other, what they've done, I think he's probably ahead of in Excelsius Dio and Liberty Hunter. If this ground, we forgot to do the weather update. The weather is soft, heavy in places at the moment. That will suit Liberty Hunter right down to the ground. So we've mentioned quite a lot of horses there. I forgot to mention my Coral Cup horse, built by Ballymore in the Coral Cup, is mine for the Brazzles. I think he's a different type to the usual Brazzle horses where they get sort of put away in handicaps and then find themselves at Cheltenham. 1-2 maiden hurdles, went like a rocket ship when he came off the bridle last time out. Really impressive. I think he's a serious horse now. If he'll like the soft ground as well, I think built by Ballymore's a serious horse here, and he's got a good name to go alongside it with the Ballymore connections. And cross country, I don't really fancy much, but in the bumper and with Quebecois at a bit of a price, I do agree with the McNeill, Ellen McNeill there, and with Megan Nichols. And I also think Brecon Castle can outrun his odds for the Brookhouses. Tried to give £11 away to Let It Rain. It was a massive shame she's not in the champion bumper this year, but I think that was a mighty run at Ascot, and he likes the course. He's won at Cheltenham this season already. We have mentioned, I just thought, lads, we've mentioned plenty of Dan Skelton runners there, and it's fantastic news because we do have Nick Pearce on from Dan Skelton Racing. Nick, how are you? How's the excitement building for Cheltenham? You must have a strong team heading there, an exciting one.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked in racing 25 years, and it's like a kid at Christmas this week, I must admit. Stress levels step up, as you can probably imagine. These are finely tuned sort of athletes, and yeah, these next sort of 10 days are vital. You know, I like it when everyone talks about, why aren't they doing this and why aren't they doing that? But honestly, this week is one of the most exciting, but one of the worst weeks as well.
I really don't envy you in that position at all. I conducted the interview there with Ella. I'm passing over to Harry to conduct this one. Harry, take the floor.
Well, Nick, you've just mentioned that it's a very stressful week, so I'm not going to do you any favours right now because I'm going to ask you where everything's going. So I bet you can imagine it's an absolute nightmare. But no, I hope you're well. How are things in the yard? Is everything ticking along very nicely?
Yeah, things are going great. Look, the horses are really in good nick as well. We won a nice 100 grand handicap on Saturday at Newbury with Cheltenham. We've had a double today down at Lingfield. If ever the horses are going to come into tip-top form, it's about now, isn't it? So, no, I mean, we couldn't be happier. The horses are looking a picture. Weather's changing a bit now, so hopefully their coats will all start blossoming, and we'll start booting on now for Cheltenham, Liverpool, and beyond.
Good stuff. Well, I'll kick things off with probably the talking horse from the yard this year, Langadan. The Coral Cup, I'm going to kick things off with him. How is he? Is the spring sunshine doing him well? And what do you rate of his chances going into this year's Cheltenham Festival?
Yeah, he's. I don't think I've ever known a horse get too much as much talking time as this lad. Sometimes I put in the search engine on Twitter, just put his name in just for a laugh. Some of the memes and things are absolutely fantastic. He's look. He does come alive this time of year. We know that. He's back down to the same mark as he won off last year, 141. Probably vulnerable this year off that same mark, isn't he? You know, he's probably in there to be shot at by a sort of young improver. You've only got to go back a couple of years ago when we really thought he was well handicapped. Then he got turned over by Gallagher in the boys' race on the Friday. He didn't turn out to be too bad, did he? But yeah, look, he's coming alive at the moment. I see Harry worked him this morning. Everyone seems really happy with him. He did bleed on his last one at Kempton. We were expecting just him to show a little bit and to sort of he'd been showing a bit better at home, and you just hope that he would have shown a little bit more last time. Because he bled from the nose, you do a full MOT and you have a little look and make sure there's anything untoward. He did have ulcers. He had a decent amount of ulcers. We've treated them. It's nothing too drastic. It's just a course of Gastrogard, and look, he looks in great nick, and he's I promise you, over the 4 days you will not find a smaller horse at the races than this lad. He is an absolute little angry rocket.
That's
kick the head off you if you got near him in the mornings. He's you wouldn't want to go for a pint with him because he'd be the first one to start a fight, and then he'd sort of leave you there to survive. But yeah, he's a cracking little horse, and the owner could do with a bit of luck this week. So
Oh, good stuff. Well, hopefully all things go well there. Now, there's two other handicap horses before we go on to the maybe the graded ones, and obviously Favour and Lotus Sud. Now, Lotus Sud is an interesting one because I've heard pretty sweet things regarding this horse in the county. Is there anything from those two horses in particular that you can tell us?
Well, look, their form from the Betfair is quite strong. I mean, Favi won this race last year. He's a few pound higher than he was last year, but I mean, you'd go skint trying to guess what he's going to do. He is a lawn to himself. He wakes up one morning, you wouldn't know what he'd do. Lotus Sud ran a blinder in the Betfair. He looked the winner the whole way up the straight until after the last and got chinned. He's gone up a few for that, but he's probably entitled to. He's a horse we've always thought bags of, to be honest, and it's nice now that he's just starting to show that. I think Favi needs a couple to. I think they both need a couple to come out to get in, but you'd hope they both would get in.
Perfect. And so we'll move on then. A Protectorate ran a blinder, I thought, behind Shishkin. It seems like it's all guns blazing now for the Ryanair. Is that still the case, and how's he been?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we've had a crack at the Gold Cup twice. What's he been, third and fifth? On just numbers this year, he isn't stacking up to be at that level. So, you could see by his run style as well, he's a fairly free-going type, and I'd love to see Harry ride him that way like he did at Newbury the other day over a shorter trip. Be nice and aggressive, and he's a real likeable horse. He hasn't won a race this year, but we've campaigned him aggressively, and he's picked up a lot of prize money this year for his owners, and he's already a dual grade 1 winner, so he doesn't have to find a lot. I mean, on any day he could beat this lot. whether that's next week, who knows? But he's a real likable horse, and he's been a great sort of star for us over the last few years.
Absolutely, and just to touch on Protector as well, it's so good seeing him now. I think Dan as well being campaigned more aggressively now that maybe he might not be going to the Gold Cup. Now we can go to as many races really as he wants, as long as he's okay in himself. There is another horse. There's a couple of horses. Obviously, I've missed one of them out. We'll get on to Grey Dawn in a minute. But West Balboa, she had high expectations coming into this season. Maybe she was disappointing at Ascot, but she's still a horse with plenty of potential. Is there any idea where she might be going?
Yeah, she's most likely to go to Liverpool, to be honest, lads.
Okay.
I just double checked before we came on the racing admin site, and she hasn't been confirmed yet for Cheltenham. That's not to say things would change, but all of the other horses have been confirmed that are intending on going. And she won there last year, and she'd have the option of the same race she won last year, or dipping her toe back into graded company. So yeah, that would be her plan at the moment.
Good stuff. And Grey Dawning, we'll mention him now. Is there any idea of where he's going? Is it the Turners? Is it the Brown Advisory? I think he's a massive fan. We are sponsored by Old Gold, and Grey Dawning demolished one of our horses, Arkle Away. So he's very good, isn't he?
Yeah, look, he is. He was. He unfortunately ended up on the floor last year when your horse won at Liverpool. He was always going to be a chaser. Yeah, he was always going to be a chaser, this lad. We bought him as a store horse. He wasn't very expensive either, which is great. And we've produced him all the way through. Always going to be, his hurdle campaign was always going to be to make him the best chaser he could be. He's heading in that direction now. I can't give you any more than what you already know. It's going to be a decision made on Monday morning, unfortunately. It's soft, heavy in places at the moment. They're due a little bit of rain over the weekend. It's one of those... you're going to look silly if you make a decision now and the weather changes. And Dan's bloody good at making decisions, and I'll leave that up to him, thankfully. Tom Messi, who's one of Dan's main assistant, he rides him every day, and he's more thinking down the 3 mile route. He's a fair judge, Messi, to be fair to him. I like taking the mick out of him, but he knows his stuff, and he's a good lad. And he's thinking more down the 3 mile route, but he's not short of a bit of toe as well. That's one thing for sure.
Absolutely. Well, before we let you go, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, and we really do appreciate it. But I do want a best bet or a nap of the Cheltenham Festival. It can be from the Skelton Yard. It can be Langadan if you really, really want to. But listen, just give us one best bet for the Cheltenham Festival for everyone listening.
I'll get on to my best one just in a second. One of the guys mentioned the horse earlier in the Supreme, telling the name each way in there. Keelan Woods comes in every Friday, and before that horse even ran at Ascot on debut for Ben Pauling, he was absolutely waxing lyrical about this horse. And
love it, Nick.
So
love it.
So I thought that might just cheer you up a little bit. But actually, I think my best bet would be, you've missed it out completely, is Lamilos in the Potemps.
I have actually missed out Lamilos in the Potemps. That is completely my bad. But fire away. How is he? Is he got a massive chance?
Yeah. So look, he's a Hennessy winner last year. Hennessy or Coral Cup now it is. He's £6 low. He's a couple of pound lower over hurdles. I think he's £6 lower over hurdles. He had to have a bit of knee surgery after the Grand National last year, which put us sort of on the back foot at the start of the season, which is why we've only seen him a handful of times. He qualified in for the Potemps, and then he ran at Ascot a few weeks ago. That would have really sharpened him up, an absolute treat, and he's bouncing at the minute. I'm really keen on him. That would be my best bet.
Nice that.
Oi. That's what we like to hear, Nick. Thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate your time. And one for the Potemps. Wow, we love that. Wish you the best of luck at Cheltenham Week. And we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season as well. I hope your horses go well. And Grey Dawning, we wish you the best of luck with him as well. He looks a proper star. Thank you very much.
So cheers, gents. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Look at that, eh? One for the Potemps with Lamilos.
The one horse we missed out, Lamilos. I mean, I can't believe it.
Well, it's an absolute cork. I think Ruby Walsh put that the other week on a Paddy Power thing, and yeah, it looks like we could be on for one there with Lamilos in the Potemps. Gentlemen, we'll fire on then. Day free. And it's actually a day we'll be talking about the Patems. The Grade 1 Turners Novices Chase is where we go to. And look, we've just been talking about Grey Dawning. He is in the betting, obviously. Ginny's Destiny 3-1, Grey Dawning 10-3, Gaelic Warrior 9-2, Facile Vega 6s. Same about Iroko, and Factifile is there at 8. Jack, I'll come to you. First word on the Turners. It's an open market. If you like one, even if you like the Fab, 3-1 still a fair enough price. What do you see the Turners being like?
I think both Ginny's Destiny and Grey Dawning are both kind of rock solid bets, to be honest, at the top of the market. They're both very closely matched on form, even though Grey Dawning was giving Ginny's Destiny £3. There was only still 3/4 a length between them. I'm probably actually just with Ginny's Destiny. That performance last time out at Cheltenham, over carrying a big weight over 2.5, was just such a good performance. I mean, I think it was 10 lengths quicker than Gallagher, who won on the same card. I thought it was off the charts. I thought on the time scale, I thought it was really impressive there. One thing for me is Iroko is, I think, such a short price. He's trying to win it after one run over fences. I think only one horse has tried to win the Turners over after just one chase one in the UK, and that was Saint Sonnet in 2020. He finished 7th, and even then he had some runs in France over fences. So I think a mountain of a task doesn't really even do it justice for what Iroko faces here. So I think he's far too short, to be honest, and I'd just be edging with Ginny's Destiny over Grey Dawning.
Brilliant stuff. Harry, how do you make the Turners out?
I'd be absolutely selling out on Grey Dawning in a match bet with Ginny Destiny if he was here. Honestly, Ginny's Grey Dawning, like I said, I made it earlier. He had a 3-course meal like John Bond did at one of the fences round. He would have won. He was giving him weight. Oh, absolutely, 10-3, 3-1. These two should be completely the opposite way around. If you've got anything near evens in a match bet with Ginny Destiny, like this is responsible gambling stuff, but this is a bet and a half for you all. I really fancy him. I really fancy Grey Dawning if he rocked up in this or the Brown Advisory. This looks easier, but it is the trip, which is, I'm not saying he's short of toe, and obviously Nick did mention it there, that he's definitely not short of toe, but I think the 3 miles, you might just see him better because he is a good stayer. Facile Vega, if he came here, would be an obvious threat because I think he is the Grade 1 Irish horse that brings the Cheltenham form to the table as such. And bar that, I can't really see anything coming else from left field. Iroko at 5-1's a horrific price, and that could come back and bite me on the rear end. But you wouldn't want to be diving into 5-1 for a horse that's only had one run, and I'm sure, obviously, Jack's just mentioned Lee. I'm sure you'll mention that as well. But no, Grey Dawning is a good price, and I'd absolutely be selling out on a match bet with Ginny's Destiny here.
I think we know what Harry fancies in the Turners. Lee, what about you? What do you fancy in the Turners?
I'd be the same as Harry. I can't have Ginny's Destiny, and if it was a match between Grey Dawning and him, I'd take Grey Dawning all day long. I couldn't back Iroko with stolen money, to be honest, after one run. It's time between drinks, and look, if Facile Vega stepped up here, I'd take him. I think he'll be really suited by this. He's the kind of apple of Willie's eye, to be honest. Maybe he'll have a picture of Facile Vega in his hat, like he does Crevega soon. But yeah, look, in Gaelic Warrior as well, I was kind of all over him. I think this the Turners on the new course will suit him better. If Gaelic Warrior Facile Vega turns up, I'll be going in again, but I'm already on them.
Yes, I'll be with you, Gaelic Warrior. I'm with you on that.
Lads, how would the market shape up? Sorry, Ash. The market would shape up if Gaelic Warrior and Facile Vega go. Would you be confident that those two would be shorter than Grey Dawn and just Ginny's Destiny?
They will.
I don't think so.
Favorite.
Really?
There's no doubt about it. I think Ginny's Destiny. Look, he's Willie Mullins. Whatever he has, it will be backed, and especially as well. Look, people latch onto them. Richie Colours and everything as well. They will be backed, and if they get nominated by Willie for this race, there's no way Ginny's Destiny goes our favourite.
Ah, interesting. I on my noviceness into betting markets, I would have had Ginny's Destiny going off Fav here, to be honest, just with the way of the
no way. Grey Dawn will definitely be shorter than Ginny's Destiny at the off.
Yeah, if they want this, I'd probably agree. But it looks like they might be going Browns. But look, yeah, whatever the market is, I'd fancy Gaelic Warrior here. I fail to believe he's a bad horse just after that one run at the DRF. You know, like people were Johnny Deneen priced him up just short of the Ile Francais for the King George when someone asked him price up the King George before the DRF, and he priced him up short of the Ile Francais. Like, I'm not saying that's that's gospel or anything, but like this horse is good. Like, he's a good horse. He's a very good horse. He's got a machine behind him. And the last day, I don't know what happened to him, but look, Danny Mullins in our interview earlier has just given us confidence behind him, and I'd agree with him. So Gaelic Warrior for me in the Turners. Gentlemen, will then move on. We'll roll in to the Ryanair Chase. Now, this is a fascinating contest because we could be seeing Brambridge here 10-3 top in the market, or if the ground is too slow, he might not be here. Envoy Allen 7-2, Stage Star 9-2, Capodanno 15-2, Conflated 11-1. This will be his preferred target. Fildor 12, 20's the bar. I'll come over to Harry first of all. Ryanair, how do you see it?
Envoy will pick these lot up, carry them, take them twice around the track and still win. Envoy honestly is the absolute banker in this race. He is, honestly, Banbridge won't go on the ground. We've already seen the going sticks. It won't dry up that much, and this horse needs good ground. Envoy is course form. I was gutted when he tipped up. Obviously, that was the year that he left Gordon's for Henry's. But then obviously he come back. He broke my heart when he beat Shishkin, but you keep watching that back. There was only really one winner. And one horse that jumped superbly on the way around. It was Envoy LN. He's a 10-year-old. He's still full of class. I love the fact that he's been saved fresh for this race. Obviously, when he was down by Jerry Colomb, I think he was just outstayed. The Ryanair trip, look, this is an absolute banker. Like, this is seriously, fast or slow won't go. Al Fabiolo won't go. Capodanno's not good enough. He's not the level of Envoy LN. Then you start going into the likes of Conflated, who he's got more letters to his name than numbers, albeit he's very classy. Fildor, again, I don't think he is grade 1 level. And Protectorate, I think he'll take them to a place, but I just think Envoy LN will pick him up pretty comfortably. Envoy LN, lads, I think this is a bloody good thing.
You don't hide your opinions when it comes to these, do you, Harry?
Look, it's the biggest week of all. It's the biggest week of all. Put your opinion out on the line, because if it goes wrong, who cares? Who honestly cares? Like, you've made your own rod for your back. I do it every single day. Every day. I don't care if I get it wrong. You know what I mean? But as soon as I get it right, I'll make sure that I plaster it everywhere, saying that it's the banker of the week. Look, Envoy LN. Banker, lads. So get stuck in.
Who had Harry Beard rant after 1 minute 20? That was the over-under line. Who had it? Envoy Allen for Harry. Jack, how do you see the Ryanair? Is Envoy Allen, as Harry said, the banker of the week?
Oh, absolutely not. Oh, Harry. I mean, he gets enthusiastic. I'll probably have a match bet with Harry for Ginny's Destiny over Grey Dawning and Stage Star over Envoy Allen. I completely understand why the money's come for Envoy Allen, but he should have won last time out when he was beaten by Jerry Colomb in a race that turned into a sprint. And Jerry Colomb's forte is definitely not sprinting; it's definitely stamina. I thought the race panned out absolutely perfect for him, and he's still going to get the job done. Don't get me wrong; it's a similar route that he's taken to last year, but I think I'm very happy to forgive Stage Star. He clearly wasn't primed for his run last time out when he was pulled up on heavy ground. And I'd much rather have seen him be pulled up than finish a beaten second in a tight finish. He absolutely loves this course and distance. He absolutely loves soft ground. I think he's just going to get out into a rhythm and play catch me if you can. And if Envoy Allen's good enough to pick him up, fair play. But we saw it last year with Harry setting these fractions. He's going to get them all to off it in behind. And then I think it's a case of if Rachel Blackmore can actually catch him up. I completely get that Envoy Allen has been back, but goodness me, he's no good thing.
What's Stage Star beaten?
It's a great question, actually, to be fair. He hasn't actually beaten all that much. But I just think the way he gets into his rhythm, I mean, of course, he beat That's All Right Gino, which probably worked out quite well. Bless him. He obviously went and won the Coral Gold Cup. But even when he beat Not Long Till May, it wasn't really what he beat. It was the fact that he did it carrying 11 stone 7 and putting 4 lengths into Not Long Till May. These grade 3 handicaps that he's been winning over 2.5 miles with big weights, they're always strong fields. You've got Il Rodotto, Fugitive in behind. They're kind of very much course and distance specialists as well. He hasn't been beating seasoned grade 1 pros, but I don't know if Envoy Allen has.
Oh, yeah, come off it. Come off it.
Harry, I'm putting you in your corner. That's ding ding end of round 2 there. Lee, you're coming in for the halftime show here. On what do you make of the Ryanair? Do you agree with either of the lads here? Stage Star in by Alan.
Look, if it did dry out, Banbridge is probably a good bet. He's a classy individual. He's coming into there a lot fresher than the rest of them. Look, he was ahead of the likes of Edward Stone, Victoria in that the last day, and he's a Grade 1 winner. But he needs that good ground. Envoyelen, I think, has got a solid chance, like Harry says. I'm not as enthusiastic on it as him, but it's kind of a mixed bag, this race. I would think that Appreciated is going to be overlooked. He's probably going to be maybe the right of
is he going to the race? I was unsure if he was going or not. I think I saw someone.
I didn't even think he was going to the festival.
Yeah, no,
he might have missed it.
Patrick mentioned the other day actually, and even said he was going to be overlooked. Look, he split Faster Slow and Galloping Deschamps in the John Durkham, and look, that's a solid run. If he was ridden more positively and let him spin out, I know he's going to be probably behind the likes of a Stage Star who will bounce out, but if he's just ridden more prominently like he did in that race against Faster Slow in Galloping Deschamps, I think he's got a live chance. And at 20-1, he's overpriced. But yeah, look, Banbridge and Envoyelen at the top of the market. Stage Star is not for me.
Oh, fair enough. I am taking a completely different road to you, lads. And you're if you're gonna have a go at Jack for the Stage Star shout, you're probably gonna want to kick me off this call. I have 2. And they're both at about 25-1. I'm going to stick with Hitman.
Look, you did say one was 100, so I'll let you off with this one, Ash. I'll let you off with this one because you did mention one horse, so I hope you do mention him now.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll give Hitman a shout. I think that Shishkin form is all right, and he ran well in the Ryanair last year. I think he really did, and he was boxed in for a while. Envoyelen got first run on him, and he wasn't able to catch him. So I think if he gets a better run, he'll have a better chance this year. So Hitman's still sticking with him, but the one. Another bigger price. I think he's actually got a good chance here. Hoy Senor, I'd love him to come to the Ryanair. I really would. I think this lad has been, he's been unfairly sort of characterised as like maybe he's a bit of a Fruit Loop, maybe he's a little bit of a quirky character, but he's a bloody good horse. Like he was running well in the Gold Cup before falling. He was running really well in the Cotswold Chase before his stirrup leather snapped. It was a bit of an educational thing at Ascot last time out, but I think they would have had him this is spot on. And Derek Fox is outrageously sweet on this horse for a 25-1 shot in the Ryanair. So I'd give Ahoy Senor a shout at the big prices there. So 2 for me, Hitman, Ahoy Sen. Your final race, penultimate race we're looking at on the Thursdays. We're going to cover 2. We're going to cover the Stayers and the Mares Novice, but the Stayers is the first one on our agenda. Tiupu 11-4, Crambo 11-2, Irish Point 6-1. Obviously got that champion hurdle entry as well. Noble 8s, 9s, so Gerhard 10s. Bigger about the rest. Lee, I'll come back over to you. Stayers hurdle. Are you with the Tiupu gang here? Obviously, with if Irish Point goes to champion hurdle, is it Tiupu's to lose?
Probably, Ash. I do like the angle that he's been saved fresh. I think that suits him. He'll definitely suit softer conditions, which is probably more likely. And yeah, look, he's a worthy favourite. I'd take Noble Yates each way. I thought only just did enough the last day against them old boys. There was 6 in line at the last there, but it was a strong race. And yeah, look, I'll take Noble Yates each way. I'll keep it short and sweet. I think Duke was the one to beat, but I think he should have won it last year. I am on Irish Point, but I think they'll go the champion hurdle. Maybe we'll find out off Rob in a minute. But yeah, look, Noble Yates each way for me.
I can actually see on my little screen Rob smiling in the background. No one else can see him, but I can see him smiling in the background. So I can't wait to speak to him.
Rob knows I'm on a big price at Irish Point, but I can't do anything about it now.
We can't do anything about that for sure. No, I'd agree with you with Tiupu. He's probably the one for me, but I do have a bigger price one I'll save for after this. Harry, Stayers hurdle. Nice and sharp on your response here. What do you fancy?
Yeah, Tiupu, and I'll also go with Champ in first time cheap pieces each way.
That was sharp. And a what shout from Lee. A what shout for Champ, my word. Jack, Stayers hurdle. How do you see it?
Tiupu definitely the one to beat. He's definitely a better horse than last year, in my opinion. But I think Sir Gerhard's probably the each way shout. 5 of the last 7 winners were double figure prices. Sent back from chasing, which clearly didn't work out. He won well, beating the Devil's Coachman last time out. It looked like he thrived back over hurdles, and hopefully he can take another step forward, stepping up in trip.
Lovely. Each way shouts galore, but we all agree with Tiupu. My each way shout, I have mentioned this before. It was actually on the video we did with Jane Mangan in the Cheltenham Festival anti-post. Don't know if you lads can remember it at all. I was laughed out of the building slightly with this, but Buddy One is my each way shout into the stayers. I like him. I think he's got good form. That Martin Pipe is working out as a really nice, strong bit of form. Iroko won the race. Imagine was all the way down in sort of sixth kind of thing. I think Firm Footing was back in seventh. There were some nice horses in that Martin Pipe. And then to carry the weight he did in that handicap hurdle at Cheltenham earlier this season and put good distance between himself and Chantry House in third, and the newest one who was seriously well handicapped back in second, put good distance between some nice horses. He's got that course and distance form. He'll stay. I don't think the what was his last race now? It's 2.5 behind Tiupu, the Hassan's Grace. Don't think that was ever going to really work for him. But yeah, I'd like him in. I'd like him in this.
That's because it's a grade one. These are grade one horses. That's a handicapper.
No, to be fair, I'm going to step in there because I completely agree with Ash. I think that race at Cheltenham was actually a really good race. The newest one's just finished third last time out as well.
I'd rather have Cider Burley. Cider Burley. I think, I'd rather have him over Buddy One.
There you go. Someone agrees with you. Stevens 99. Even Cider Burley has a chance to repeat. Cider Burley, a great price at 33.
Hey, there we go.
This guy Ash watch any racing at all? That's the comment of the night. Surely, love it. Thank you very much. So there's our shouts for the stairs hurdle, and a couple of differing opinions there. Finally, we're going to the mare's novice hurdle on the Thursday. A good race, this, a really, really good race. Probably one of the top 3 races I'm looking forward to. Bryce Stays Ahead 6-4, Jade de Grugy 5-2, Dysart Enos representing the British 9-2, as well as Golden Ace 14-1. Jack, you've backed me up, so you're in the good books. So I'm going to fire it over to you. If you say Bryce Stays Ahead, those good books get even bigger for you.
Look, I really like Bright Days Ahead, but is she not just way too short here at 6-4? She's up against 12 other mares who are unbeaten in the race. 12 unbeaten mares, and she's 6-4 for the race. Don't get me wrong, what she's done, especially what she did at Down Royal, I thought was really impressive in comparison. I think it was to Irish Point, who was on the same day, who won. But I think she's way too short now at 6-4. She can't be getting any shorter than that. That's for sure. There's probably Dysart Enos. I actually think her run at Cheltenham's probably worth a lot more than it actually was in comparison to the Go Dante race that was on the same day. It worked out well. Beat the Bat, who finished second. I think he's incredibly well handicapped of 132 wherever he wants to go. But I just still think Brucio, I don't know if they're going to go here with Brucio, but I think she's criminally underrated. She's 40-1, and I don't really get how. She was brought down, of course, at Kelso last time out in the Premier Novices hurdle, but she won the race, that 2 mile 2 furlong handicap hurdle at Leopardstown, and it just has such a good roll of honour. Black Tears won it in 2020, then finished second in the Coral Cup, won the Mayor's Hurdle the next year. Heaven Help Us won it in 2021. Tell Me Something Girl was third in that race. They both went and won the Cheltenham at the festival. And I think if it does turn into a staying contest, which it looks like it could do, because there's going to be 15 or so probably going for it, I think she couldn't have won any easier at the Dublin Racing Festival. If she does go here, I think 40-1 is a humongous price for Brucio.
Each way fancies galore. Fantastic news. Lee, look, I like Bryce Days Ahead. You're the CEO of the Bryce Days Ahead fan club, putting up as a horse to follow at the start of the season on our series. So, look, I'll give the floor to you on Bryce Days Ahead. Is she the one?
Oh, she's the nap of the whole festival for me. I just think she's absolutely cracking. I think 2 mile 1 and that new course will suit her really well. Look, Jack says there's 12 others in there or whatever. I think only 3 or 4 has probably got a chance. The Scotch horse Ace, what was that called again? Sorry,
Golden Ace.
Yes, Golden Ace probably has an each race a week, but then the 3 at the top of the market. I just think this will suit Bright Days Ahead down to the ground. She's beautifully bred, and look, she'll be a cracking chaser as well. But yeah, look, she's nap material for me, all in.
Yes, agree. Well, she's the nap of the festival for me. She's nap of the festival for me. She is. Look, she's short. Jack's right. She's short. I thought I sort of like came round to her when she was like 5-2 kind of thing. I thought that's a cracker of a price. 6-4 is how I see her. Like that's how I see her price. And look, I probably will back her. I haven't actually got any money staked on her at the moment, but yeah, I'm with her on Bryce Days Ahead. But Golden Ace is my each way angle into the contest. Harry, yourself, is it? No, I can't even remember. Are you a Bryce Days Ahead fan? I can't even remember.
No, Jade de Grugy. I really like this horse. The way she quickened clear between the 2 out and the last at Fairyhouse last time was pretty breathtaking. And the vibes were very, very, very good until obviously the vibes for Brighter Days Ahead came swarming in, and it just seems as if she physically can't be beaten. But no, it kind of has this Benny Didier versus Honeysuckle ring to it. I think it's between these two. Dysart Enos, I know she's escaped the penalty, but I think when these two big guns bring the likes of, when Willie and Gordon bring two big guns to the party, I think Dysart Enos might just be a little bit tap for toe. I'm not saying she's not a very good horse, because she is, but I think Jade Grugy and Brighter Days Ahead might just be two proper specimens, and I'd fancy Jade Grugy now, especially just at the prices. I think 5 to 2 is far too big, and in comparison to Brighter Days Ahead, who I think is far too short.
Yeah, just quickly, I also think there's a massive bit of recency bias here, because Brighter Days
Yeah,
Ahead
it is, but it's always the case now,
really,
isn't it? It's always the case. It's always the case.
I don't get that. I think, look, though that Jews had that chance, like Dysart Enos, like I think Brighter Days Ahead will bully them two, and she'll win it well.
Brighter Days Ahead could go win the Bearing Bingham on Wednesday and turn around and win the Mayor's Novice on Thursday. That's We're Going Chasing. I was on their podcast yesterday, actually.
She can go to Charlton on the Friday. She go to Charlton. Jack can look after her, and she can win.
There you go. Happy days.
Apparently, Harry Swan thinks it's the certainty of the festival. So, look, there's a big lot of chat behind Brighter Days Ahead. I hope that she does deliver, because I really like her. And I do like the breeding of her. Absolutely. You can have your words about breeding in jumps, but that matinee form line, progeny and pedigree line is fantastic. Right, gentlemen, we're going to wrap up Thursday with the handicaps, and I'm gonna ask quick time on this. So Thursday, anything else, and naps. I'll go Jack first of all.
I actually don't have any handicap fancies at the moment on the Thursday, and the nap is going to be Stage Star in the Ryanair.
Brilliant stuff. That makes it easy for us. Lee.
Carter I think, has been saved for this race. The attempts there travelled really well. Had to omit the last at Aintree, but qualified, let's say, for the race and being saved for this. So Carter probably will go maybe under the radar, even though it's a Willie Mullins horse. And Waka Clan, I think, has got a good chance in the Kimura if that one goes there. But yeah, them two are made. Oh, and Cribilly will win the plate.
There you go. You've got some backing your side. Joe likes Cribilly, day 3 nap. And also in his next comment, Envoy Alan, day 3 nap of the week. So, Joe, make your mind up. You can't have 2 naps, unfortunately. Harry, I know what your nap is in Envoy Alan, but anything for the handicaps?
Oh, I was actually changing my mind. I thought Champ was my nap of the day for the third. No, I'm joking. Obviously, it is Envoy Alan. He'll win. Yeah, keep it short and sweet. And yeah, I fancy with Cribilly as well. This horse has been talked about that it's got hundreds of pounds in hand, so you've got to take that on board. So I've had a few quid.
Brilliant stuff. I have a list for the handicaps. I've gone through the 3 of them, and I've kept it quite concise. I have 2 in 2 and 1 in 1. So first of all, Thames. My main fancy is Gabby's Cross. I think ran into a really well handicapped Jody Ted over hurdles. Jody Ted was £19 well in on hurdles mark compared to Chase mark, so ran into a good one there. Also ran into Buddy One before he went and bolstered up at Cheltenham. And look, if he's the stayers hurdle winner in making, then Gabby's Cross must be well handicapped off his mark. Stays well, rated over 140 over fences, and gets enough a mark of, I think it's 134 here in the Thames. Also one of Chase race of 137. So I think Gabby's Cross well handicapped in the Thames, but the one to keep an eye on at a big price is Anna Bonina. She's sort of untested at 3 miles. She snuck into the Thames qualifier, finishing 4th. I think there's a small bit of confidence that she could outrun her odds in the Thames. I'll save the plate one because I actually do think that's got a good chance. Kim Muir, really fancy Bow to Greatness. This will be the race he gets into. Don't think he'll get into the Ultimate. Really fancy Bow to Greatness. I think he ran a great race in the Coral Trophy last time out, and I really hope that he's got a good one in him, because he's Ben Pauling said that he's got £15 in hand. So whether he puts that £15 in hand into his legs. So look, fingers crossed he can run well in the Kim Muir. If not, I will be backing Cool Survivor as well each way. I think he's got some really nice form. He's found in the market 9-1, but I think the step up in trip will really suit him for Gigginstown there. And the one in the plate, I'm taking you all on with Cribilly. I'm taking the 2 of the lads on there with Cribilly. 20-1, adamantly chosen. I think it's got a good chance if he heads here. Look, Grade 1 novice chaser last season, competing in that level. Second to Jerry Colom in the Faheen. You're like that form line there, Lee. Second to Mighty Potter at the DRF. So that's really good form now. He's been dropped. He hasn't done much since, but this season he needed the first run. Then he went to the Paddy Power Chase and he didn't stay. But he travelled beautifully and didn't stay. And then he was not put into the race last time out at all. He gets enough a mark of, I believe, off the top of my head, I haven't got it wrote down. It's 148. I believe he's got in the plate. I think that's got half a chance there. So adamantly chosen 20-1 for me. But the nap is brighter days ahead. We've been speaking about a lot of Robcour horses there, gentlemen, and we've got Rob Acheson from Robcour to come on. Rob, you have plenty of questions to answer from us, lads, I'm sure, because we've spoken about many Robcour horses. But first of all, how are you this evening?
Oh, I'm flying it. Thanks for having me on. Delighted to be here.
Brilliant stuff. This is Lee's one now, so I'm going to sit back and relax. And Lee, you've got the questions lined up.
Yeah, welcome, Rob. Look, how are you feeling ahead of next week? You've got probably the strongest team you've had for a long time.
Yeah, feeling good. A few more days to get through before you can start to really think about it, just in case any of them step on stones or pull a muscle or something like that. But no, all good. Trying to get through the next couple of days, and then can really start to. I would say relax, but it'll be a terrible few days.
Yeah, maybe you need a couple of beers to chill out, I would have said. Look, I'll rattle through a couple of your team there. We did mention just the Irish Point and Tiupu. I don't know if the decision is made yet for Irish Point. I think you're going to go to Gordon's, aren't you, on Thursdays? Are they working on Thursday, I believe?
Yeah, no, the dad is heading down there on Thursday. I can't, I'm working, unfortunately. But yeah, no, it'd probably be odds on that Irish Point goes to the Champion Hurdle now, but there's no confirming anything until as late as possible, just in case anything happens to either of them.
Yeah, what do you think of his chances against the likes of State Man in a Champion Hurdle?
Look, it's one of those, like, it's when people were saying, would you supplement Bob Ollinger? It's one of those, there was no real point in doing that because they kind of both fall under the same category of hoping that State Man would have to underperform for us to get near him.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of one of those that the easy thing to do would have been to keep them both in the Stayers Hurdle and then have two darts to fire that if Tiupu doesn't perform on the day, you have a backup. But it's a Champion Hurdle at the end of the day. Like, there's one horse that's a clear favourite. If for whatever reason he doesn't perform or he falls or he doesn't turn up, you'd like to have one with a fair each way chance just in case.
Yeah, and what about Tiupu? Obviously kept fresh as well. Do you think can improve from last season's run in the race?
Yeah, I think he has. I think he's improved from last year to this year. I know I've said it all along. He's a much bigger and stronger horse this year. But I said at the start of the season, we're going Jason commented there. I said it on their podcast. He actually looks like a Gold Cup horse rather than a Stayers Hurdle horse. So no, yeah, it's CB. If we're gonna have a winner, I would think it's going to be him.
Wow, and we've got Slade Steele there as well. Look, you're trying to dodge maybe a few of these Willie Mullins hot pots. You were second to Ballyburn the last day. Any preference for you in which race Slade Steele would go into? I'd much prefer for us to be running in the new Gallagher Novice Hurdle, but sure, look, it's one of those, you're just going to have to see what turns up where and then make the call based off that. I suppose we've been beaten by Ballyburn twice by 7 lengths, so are you just kind of going to take him on for the sake of it? Probably not. You'd rather take the chance, and even if that means drop back to 2 miles and just go or stay at 2 miles if he goes up and trip. Yeah, fair. If we're going to be beaten, I'd like to be beaten by someone else other than Ballyburn. Yeah, at least take your chance, I suppose. And then you've got Hidden Valley Lake against. Is that horse going to go as well? I know you've got Irish Point and Tube to split, but is Hidden Valley Lake going to take the chance? No, he's not. He's only in the Carl Cup at the moment. He's going to be taken out at the next stage. He's going to go to Aintree for the 3 mile Grade 1 hurdle there. Perfect. And that leads me on to my beloved Jerry Colomb. I don't know if you have an opinion maybe of how close he can get to Galloping Trumps after the last day. Obviously beaten a long way, but do you think he can improve on the distance there behind Galloping Trumps?
Oh, he can certainly improve on the distance. Can he beat him is a whole different question. Like,
yeah,
I don't think that was his true running in the Savills. But at the same time, it's very hard to see him overturning 23 lengths, regardless of how much he improves. Like it's Galloping Champ is a freak. It's just one of those. You're nearly in it at an unlucky time just against a horse like him. But he's great for racing. Galloping is. And look, we're just really lucky to have him in this country. Although I'd probably prefer if he was over with E winning King George's rather than Savills.
Yeah. What about the trip? Will that help Jerry Colomb and maybe it's the conditions? Do you think I've seen Gordon say is even the slightly better ground won't be a harm to Jerry's chances even?
No, I suppose if you were to count what his best run was last season, it would have been Aintree, and that was probably some of the better ground he ran on last season. So you can make a case for that, but look, you're going to have to hope it's the trip brings out the real improvement, which I think it will anyway. I don't know what price he is. I don't know what price he is without Galloping Champ, but I'd say he might be a good each way bet in that.
Yeah, I'll definitely be cheering him on, no doubt. But you also have Gentleman's Game as well. We haven't seen him for a while. What's happening with him?
Yeah, no, Jesus, he's in great form at the moment now, touch wood, because he's made a glass. But he's flying it. He did a good piece of work there at the Cara on Saturday. Robbie Power rode him, and he was delighted with him. Mouse was delighted with him. So yeah, no, all set to go and try and take our chance. He'd be the first horse since Coney Gree to win a Gold Cup on his fourth start. So if Coney Gree can do it, hopefully we can do it as well.
Rob, just quickly, sorry.
Yeah.
How much do you think there is between Jerry Colomb and Gentleman's Game? Because of course we haven't seen Gentleman's Game for a while. Do you think there is a like £10 between them, or do you think they're a bit closer than the market suggests?
No, Jesus, they'd be very close to each other. I think I've always said it. I've always thought myself the Gentleman's Game probably has a bit more ability than Jerry, but Jerry's far more durable. Okay. But no, Jerry's at the same time. Jerry's been there and done that. He's won 4 Grade 1s. Whereas Gentleman's Game, Charlie Hall is a great race to win, but it's a Grade 2 at the end of the day, and he's won a Beginner's Chase. So it's kind of hard to weigh up just in terms of where one is in comparison to the other. But I'd probably say the Big Grey just might edge it a small bit.
Interesting, thanks.
I think in my head Jerry Colomb's got about £50 in hand, but maybe he's needed to chill on that one. What about Phil Daw, new recruit for you? What's the plan with him?
Yeah, he's going to take his chance in the Ryanair. He's had 2 really good runs this season so far. The trip might be a little bit of a question, so he might just have to be ridden to get the trip rather than ridden to win the race. But well, Jesus, I won't be telling whoever's on their back how to ride him anyway. They can make the call. But yeah, no, he if he gets the trip, he'll have a good each way chance because he's probably the horse with the most toe in the race at this stage. Yeah,
a horse Ash really likes there, and you've got the likes of Cala Conti as well. Could you give a word on her?
Yeah, no, Jesus, I've been delighted with her so far this season. She's real hardy filly, like. But she won't be going to Cheltenham now. She won't be going. The plan with her is to go to Fairyhouse for the Mayor's Novice hurdle there in 17 days after the Mayor's Novice hurdle in Cheltenham. Try and get a bit of Grade 1 black type. Should be getting £10 off the older fillies. So it's a stepping stone. We're using it as a stepping stone to try and look at the Grade 1 in Auteuil in May for over 2.5. So if she gets the trip there, then you can look at spending the money to go to France because it'd be an awful sickener to send one over and they don't get the trip then when they get there.
Yeah, look, a good plan, I would have said. And is there anything else from your team that we've missed? Anything going under the radar?
No, I think you fairly covered all bases. I know Ash is mad about San Felician. I can't remember for which race now, but it's I would think he's going to run in the plate. Don't particularly think he's going to be one of the best handicapped horses in the race now, but we'll see anyway. If he could run into the money in either the Grand Annual or the plate, that'll be decided on Thursday where he's going to go. If you could run into a place, you'd be delighted.
That British handicapper. Oh, he needs a word too.
To be fair, I don't think he's done too badly. It's just he's running good races, so the handicapper kind of couldn't really do anything else. So, like I'd say he's entered in a grade 3 or 2 in Naas this weekend. The Journey with Me won last year. I'd say tactical move that beat him in Goran Park is in it as well. I'd say he could take a bit of beating in that, and if he does, then hopefully we might have a few more pound in hand than I thought.
And just what would be your best bet from your team? And if you can give us a nap from the festival, maybe it's away from your family colours there.
Tiapu for us, and no, Jesus, that I can tell you the people do not want to hear what I think about the Boodles or anything like that. So I'll just stick with Tiapu.
Is there any horse that should be on our agendas? Like Cheltenham, put Cheltenham to one side. Is there any horse that we should have in the notebook just to watch going forward? Anything young or up and coming, or one that's maybe going for a big handicap or something?
In terms of big handicap, nothing really.
Don't show your hand.
We've nothing coming up. Like we've nothing for an Irish national or anything like that. Oh Jesus, what are we? We've horse entered in the Docks bumper in Gorn on Sunday. That's the one that Henry likes to use. I know Manila Melody won it, Bob won it, Journey with Me won it. If we have a horse there called Good and Kind, to be honest, we only have him very recently now. He's only been in our colours the last sort of 6-7 weeks, but he must be showing something right if he's entered in that. So I'll find out in the next day or two how he's going and whether he's going to run or not.
Right.
Brilliant, yeah. Straight right down. How's Hartwood very quickly? Is he all right? What's the plan with him?
No, in great form. He's going to go to Aintree for the 3-mile Grade 1 Novice Chase.
There you go.
No, he's in great form, yeah. So I think his British mark would have been around 151. So that's why we said rather than go to a handicap, you're kind of rated in and around a grade one mark there. So hopefully he can go well there. Brilliant. Well, he's awesome. I'm a big fan of. And I'm a big fan of your team this year, Rob, for the Cheltenham Festival. I wish you the best of luck. To you, Pooh, I think we're all big fans of. So we wish you the best of luck. I've just got a comment. How's Antabar? Is he all right? He's good. He had a small bit of a back issue, which probably that was definitely the reason for the poor run in Leopardstown. I wouldn't say that was the reason for the poor run in Naas and the Lawlers, but no, we don't know. We're not sure whether we'll bring him back for a Winners of One or something in Punchestown now, but it's more about just getting him to next year, 3 miles in the fence. Brilliant. Well, we wish you the best of luck with him and with your whole Cheltenham Festival team. Rob, we really appreciate your time tonight, and best of luck for Cheltenham. Best of luck for the rest of the season. We're big fans of the Robcour horses, and we hope they go well. Thanks for having me on, lads. Cheers. Thank you very much, Rob. Thank you. Look at that there. Our final live interview done and dusted with, and some nice info there. We've got some good info about the Robcour horses going forwards, Cheltenham-wise and non-Cheltenham-wise as well. So this is why you watch the Only Fools Love Horses Cheltenham preview. Make sure to share it around your family, share it around your pets as well. We'll move on, gentlemen. Final day, the Grade 1 Triumph Hurdle. And this is a short price fav, but it's not for Willie Mullins. It's Sir Gino for Nicky Henderson. He's topping the market, 6-4 on. Majborough, 13-2. Cargeese, 8-1. Salvador Mundi, 12. Storm Heart, 12s. There's the battalion of Mullins horses looking to topple Sir Gino. And Salva for Gary Moore, 14-1. Bigger about the rest. Harry, I'll come to you first of all. Is there anything you're taking on Sir Gino with? Can you be quick with this or not?
No, keep this quick because Sir Gino is by far head and shoulders above anything else. He is going to be your Triumph winner. Short enough, I wouldn't be diving in, albeit, because I just think Willie will try and I think he'll run a few in this just to try and get Sir Gino beat. If he can pick up a lucky winner. But on what we saw so far, I just think Sir Gino is just a class act.
Brilliant. Jack, are you similar lines?
Yeah, exactly the same. The only one that I would have wanted to take him on with was Bottler's Secret, Gavin Cromwell's 4-year-old, who's not even going. So, yeah, for me, it's just Sergino.
Oh, there you go. Lee, for you?
I think Sergino will take the beating. I do like Morsborough, and I think I'll probably back that one each way if the price is right on the dash. But yeah, look, Sergino impressive the last day and take the beating.
Yeah, I won't be backing Sergino, and I will be backing Madgeborough in this race. Willie Mullins was quite sort of bullish afterwards, really, after the Spring Juvenile, saying we're really happy with that run from Madgeborough. We'll know him better. Mark Walsh will know him better. And hopefully they can go and sort of go on and be the each way squeak in the big Spring Grade 1s. And look, I know Sergino's there, but 4-6 about a juvenile, you know, they improve at different rates, and Madgeborough's been a big talking horse. So 13-2, I'm happy to take the price about him for the Triumph Hurdle. The Albert Bartlett, gentlemen, the Grade 1 there. And this is a wide open market, isn't it? This is brilliant. And I will come to you, Harry, first of all, because I know you like the Fav in this, but Reading Tommy Wrong, 7s, Dancing City, 8s, High Class Hero, 8s, Gidley Park, 9, Chanel Bob in there, I think I was going to say 11-1, but I put 11-2. Lecky Watson, 12, 16, The Bar. Harry, you said on this preview that you like Reading Tommy Wrong, but for the Bartlett, you said you like him for both races. So you still sticking with that?
Yeah, I think he's a very, very good horse, Ash. I wouldn't mention that I like Antique if I didn't if I couldn't say that I didn't like Reading Tommy Wrong, because he was given a brilliant ride by Darryl Jacob and he duly obliged. Now, I think that Darryl Jacob might just keep the ride, because I think Paul's going to have either High Class Hero or Dancing City, which I think Darryl will be quite happy to get the ride again. He was given a patient ride. He warmed to his task well. And look, he stayed on really well. I think the step up to 3 miles will suit him really well. 2 at a flyer. I think Captain Teague at 16s is a good price. And also the 3rd in the Challow, the Jukebox Man. I think it's the Jukebox Man for Ben Paulin. I really like this horse. I really fancied him for the Challow. And he just seemed to kind of just get stuck in the mud a little bit, even though sounds a bit weird that he won on heavy at Foss last, but I think it was his first time up in Grade 1 company. Captain T, we knew he had the class, he had the experience at Cheltenham before, and I'd be willing to chance the Jukebox Man with the extra places that you'll probably get available on the day. So there's 3 for you, but my main selection is Reading Tommy Wrong, who I just think is a very classy horse.
No, fair play to you. You put the Jukebox Man up as a horse to follow, sort of early season job, and you said it was a nice horse. You put it up for the Challow. You said you'd fancy him sort of going forward. So fair play to you. He's got his chances.
I think I did actually say him for the Bartlett. I think I did actually say him for the Bartlett.
I believe I laughed out loud at you, so I do apologise for that. I think he's got half a chance here in this one. So fair play to you. You've got all the way here, and good luck with you in the race. Lee, Bartlett, wide open. You can take a stab each way at anything in this. What's the one having the Lee Gibson stamp of approval?
Lecky Watson, Ash. Lecky Watson. I really like the horse. I did put this one up probably the same time maybe as Harry did with his, but I think he's been moulded into this race. He's won over 2 miles, 7, and he only just got up on the line, but then he's been running in these graded races to make him battled hardened, let's say. He ran in the Lawlers and Nace. He stayed on again towards the line behind 2 solid horses and Reading Tommy running in Atlantique there. So I just think, he's kind of been moulded into this type of horse. And look, I thought he was a huge pace way back when I put him up, but he's still a backable price each way. I do like High Class Hero. I think Paul will ride him. I think Danny will stick with Dancing City. And, well, I don't know who will get on Lecky Watson, to be honest. But look, I think he's an each way play, and he's been overlooked.
There you go. Look at that, George Gorman over on Twitter. Soft or worse than Salva gives him a race. That was talking about the Triumph Hurdle there. Plenty of comments in below as well. Someone saying that the battle will help Gidley Park in a race like this. That's from Stevens 99. Jack, how do you see the Albert Bartlett playing out in your eyes?
Oh, it's an absolute cracker, isn't it? The Albert Bartlett's thrown up a few big price winners. I quite like Reading Tommy Wrong for the reasons that Harry said, and also High Class Hero. Of course, that race that he won at Thurles last time out was the same that Monkfish won. Storyteller, Jerry Colon, Embassy Gardens, etc. And I thought he looked very classy when he won in October, beating the Big Doyen by 7 lengths. I think the Big Doyen's a decent yardstick there, graded yardstick. I am going to give it one more chance to Croke Park, though, who was actually lame after the Lawlers and Nace. I just think I'm not the biggest fan of Gordon Elliott's novice hurdlers because I don't know if they're actually great jumpers, a lot of them. But I just quite like the way Croke Park jumps over his hurdles. He jumps slightly left. He's very efficient. over them. He won at Clonmel over 2 miles pretty easily, and then got the job done at Navan over 2.5 miles, giving weight to Mel Monroe and beating Search for Glory, who since won a Grade 3 after that. He was second to good old Barry the Butcher in a point-to-point. I think the step up to 3 miles is going to suit. I'm going to forgive him his run in the Laws and Ace because he was lame after that. I think if he is, we see horses bounce back from disappointing runs like Vanillier did in the Nathaniel Lacey, and if so, I think Croke Park's a big price at 25-1.
There you go, big price, Croke Park. I like the shout for High Class Hero. Friday is a big day for me at Cheltenham Festival. 3 horses who I have strong affiliations with, strong love for now, just on pure backing them at slightly bigger prices. They all come to the fore here. So, and the first one is High Class Hero. I'm a big fan of this horse. I've been a fan of his when he sort of started in the summer. Different route to the Willie Mullins Novices as norm, sort of starting late summer, beating the big Doyen, who since went out to finish ahead of Captain T, but behind Manila Missile in that Grade 2 at Cheltenham. I think that's fairly strong form. The last day, look, maybe he didn't win as stylishly as people wanted him to, but he got into a battle, and he really did. And it was fairly slow early stages, but he's got to turn a foot. He has got to turn a foot. And look, maybe the jury is slightly still out if he stays the full 3 miles, but Connection seem to be convinced that he will be the 3 mile. He'll be the stayer. I remember reading a sort of interview from Paul Nicholls after he won Paul Townend, when he won a race in sort of late summer. This after he won a 2 mile 5 race, and they thought this is the 3 miler, this is the Bartlett horse. So I think this is coming to the fore here. And yeah, High Class Hero, I'm a big fan of his. Haven't looked anywhere else, to be honest. So I'm just going to stick with him. Hope High Class does the job and fills his name correctly. To Cheltenham Gold Cup is the blue ribbon event. It's the final race we're putting under the microscope. 100th anniversary of the race. And what a contest it is, by the way. Can we just give a little bit of appreciation to this race? Gallop Under Shops is not 15 to 4 as it says on the screen, so I'll adapt that. But he is short at the top of the market. He's 5 to 4, top of the market. Fast or Slow is 5 to 1. Shishkin 7 to 1. Jerry Colomb 11s. Long Press 14s, Brave Man's Game 16s, Hewitt 20s, Gentleman's Game 25s, the same price for Monkfish. Seriously impressive race this. So Gallop and the Shops may be short, there's some good quality in behind. Jack, I'm going to come to you first of all, because you posed a very good question to Rob there about Gentleman's Game and about sort of what's the difference between them and Jerry Colomb. Not much, and potentially Gentleman's Game is the better horse. So is he the one that you're sort of got on your shortlist for the Gold Cup?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was interesting hearing from Rob that he actually thinks that the Big Lovable Grey actually might have more ability than Jerry Colomb, because, of course, Gentleman's Game's 25 to 1. Jerry Colomb's nearly a single-figure price. I know Gentleman's Game's only had the 3 runs over fences, and hey, look, I mean, I think he said Lord Windermere was the last to do that off, I think, a rating of 152. So it'd be interesting to see if he can come on leaps and bounds from that. But I mean, I was impressed with the way he beat I Am Maximus. He probably should have got the job done against Easy Game, but it was probably over a bit of an inferior trip. He was staying on at the line there as well. He was probably about 3-4 lengths down at the last, but staying on there. And of course, to beat Brave Man's Game, I know Brave Man's Game, of course, blundered at the end there, but I just think Gentleman's Game is one of those horses who could still be improving. I mean, we could talk about this race for no end. I think we could go on for about an hour or so and make a case for about every single horse in it. But I think Gentleman's Game is one who could just keep improving. Maybe he's not as good enough as a Galopin Des Champs by any stretch of the imagination, but I think Galopin Des Champs is a rock solid favourite. But you got enough there to take him on and have an each way stab at. And I think if Gentleman's Game places at 25 to 1, I'd rather have that return in the 5 to 4 about Galopin.
Brilliant. There you go. Gentleman's Game, bit of a price. Lee, you like the other Robcour horse, and you think there's £15 difference between the 2 Robcour horses. But look, you're a big fan of Jerry Colomb. You have been all season. This is his sort of D-Day, isn't it, in the Gold Cup?
Look, I joked. I said £50, I think, in my head. But yeah, look, I do love Jerry Colomb. I just think he's got such a deficit to make from the last day. I think Gallopin Des Champs will win it again. I think Fast or Slow has been trained for this in mind all season long, and working back from that Ultima last season, I think he stayed on really well, and I hope Jerry can stay on again and, you know, at least take a place and take a hand in the finish. I think Gallopin Des Champs will beat Fast or Slow and Jerry Colomb, and that's how I see it. Rob has, you know, I might have a saver on Gentleman's Game just for the fact that, you know, Mouse is such a target trainer. If he's got a good one, he rarely misses, you know. And yeah, look, I think I will have a saver on. He's kind of talked his round there, but yeah, look, for me, I think Fast or Slow has been trained for this in mind. whereas the other one, like Galloping Chump, still picked up them good pots. I just think it's all roads lead to this for Faster Slower. So yeah, there's me 1, 2, 3. Galloping Chumps, Faster Slower, and Jerry Colom, I hope can get third.
Yeah, you're fine to be talked around by someone connected to a horse. I've been talked around by Nick Pearce for Lamilos in the Patems, that's for sure. Harry, final word to you in the Gold Cup. How do you see this? Is it short and sweet as Galopin de Champs and we move on?
No, probably, but I just think it's worth taking him on, especially in a Gold Cup. Short odds, it's anything could happen. You saw how he was ridden last time, how he managed to escape the fallers, the Ahoy Seniors, and the other horse that came crashing down. Yes, that was it Hugh? I don't know whether it was at the top of the hill. I think
it sounds Russian.
Yes, I think you might be right. He managed to escape them, and Aplutar got on the wrong side of him, and anything could have happened. Shishkin to win. I think that horse will be ridden to win. He might not win, but I think at 7-1, it's worth a little. I think he's very, very talented. And another one each way. I think Le Press. I like the fact that he dropped down back in trip just to try and sharpen up his jumping. I think jumping 2 fences, you kind of knew your result, but Charlie Deutsch got him jumping. And I always like horses that step back to then go markedly back up in trip and back to a trip that I think will see him in a better light.
Bases though, the last day I thought he was never there.
What's that? He was never there, but that's what I mean. You kind of knew it was kind of pick Voorhees Gold Cup. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? And after looking at the race back, you kind of think that Charlie Deutsch really look after him, the same as Derek Fox aboard a Hoy Senior. So yeah, I think Le Press at 14-1 is a good each way bet.
Yeah, rounding up the Gold Cup with my 2 horses that I'll be backing in the race.
If you dare say the real whacker in this.
Number 1's Fast or Slow. I'll be backing them. Just think this, typical cliche. This is his Gold Cup. It's everyone's Gold Cup, but I think he's sort of just, this is sort of trained to the minute, and I think the test of Cheltenham will suit him. The trip will suit him really nicely. I think he gave Galopin Jobs an absolute belter of a race in the Irish Gold Cup, and he hadn't come from a race. He was coming fresh into that. I think he'll come on plenty for that. Plenty of time in between. I completely agree with what Lee said there about Fast or Slow. And I've returned to the Fox Pit, who said, "Does this Ash guy watch any racing at all?" No, I don't. The real whacker is a horse I would be backing for the Cheltenham Gold Cup, 66-1. Very similar case for Fast or Slow. Look, I just think this is his day. I think this is one day from the season. There'll be a calendar. I can almost predict there'll be a calendar in Patrick Neville's office. A big red circle, as big a red circle as you can imagine, and it'll be around the Cheltenham Gold Cup day. It'll be around this one day for the real whacker. I think he's got a fantastic chance here, and look, I think he just can get into a rhythm. I think if they run him from the front, I'd like to see that. Just go from the front, and it's a case of, look, if you catch me, lads, you're better than me. And he did it in the Brown Advisor last year. If they give him lengths down the hill, I swear, if they give him lengths down the hill, I'll be smiling, because if they
won't give him lengths down the hill,
and that's fine. If they don't give him lengths down the hill, that's fine. But they gave him 4 lengths down the hill in the Browns, and he won. If they give him 3 or 4 lengths coming down the hill in the Gold Cup, he will be tough to catch. I think he'll be really tough to catch. But look, he's a price accordingly, 66s. I can't wait for the comments to come flying in now. But
you should add a 0 to it. You should add a 0 to the end of that, seriously. And that would, I'd still think, no, it's too short.
I think the real whacker, and yeah, there you go. 66 is about him, gentlemen.
Put the latest comment that's just come down on the. Put the latest comment.
Don't fancy it. No, thank you very much. Mayor's Chase, Hunter's Chase, and Handicaps, gentlemen. We're going to have to fire through these because we've got the part 2 of Danny Mullins. So I want very quickly, Lee, Mayor's Chase, Hunter's Chase, Handicaps.
Dino Blue will win the Mayor's Chase. Simple as. Desud, I think King is Kingsfield. Them 2 will have a cracking chance in the county. Better days ahead, not brighter days ahead. Better days ahead for Gordon, who targets the Martin Pipe. I think that'll run well and probably get overlooked as well. And I do like Premier Magic and Rocky's How Are Ya, or whatever it is. In the Hunter's Chase there. But yeah, look, probably Leo Desud there for the Skeltons, I think, in a race they love to win. So yeah, county.
Brilliant. Jack, yourself?
Oh, just quickly, and Bialystok, I think, is probably overpriced in that one as well. Come down the last day when travelling well.
Brilliant. Jack, yourself, what do you fancy for the other races on the Friday?
Dino Blue will win the Mayor's Chase. The Fox Hunters belongs in the bin, and I think Sam Jest is just going to win the Martin Pipe, not really a price that I like getting involved with, but goodness me, he's got away with the mark of 140 there, hasn't he? When he beat Noble Yates last time out. Completely agree with Lee. And as Nick said, Loda Sud, they clearly think the world of this lad. And I know he's gone up £6 for winning the Betfair Hurdle, and I don't think he's an amazing price at 12 to 1. I think he probably may even drift a little bit on the day, but I think Loda Sud's going to run a good race in the county.
Brilliant stuff. Harry, what about yourself?
Yeah, if you're crabbing Dino Blue saying she won't get the trip, then you're clutching at straws, because she will absolutely bolt in the Mayor's Chase. There is nothing in her calibre that can contest with her. And especially Bride's Hill. She has no chance against Dino Blue. She will eat her. It's on the line. Will win the Hunter Chase. He's a very good horse. Billoway will be staying on as he usually does, but it's on the line. It's very classy. And apart from the rest, well, the handicaps, I think Willie Mullins, whatever Mikey O'Sullivan, because he actually gets away with riding in the conditional. So whatever Mikey rides in the Martin Pipe will probably be worth noting. Yeah, Akita Bourbon. It's been the talking horse. But no, for the handicaps, I'm not really that bothered about the Friday ones, because by then I might have already done my conkers. So.
Brilliant. I will round up mine. I've been taking some pelters in the comments and been taking some pelters from you, Harry. But Bride Still is
wins the Gold Cup, apparently.
Yeah, that's been brought forward. Massachusetts wins the Gold Cup. Fantastic news. Thank you, Finn Dog. Sama Jess looks like a plot. I like that. I like Bride Still in the Mayor's Chase. Big fan of this horse. I think she'll go well. She'll stay the trip. I just think she's fairly unexposed in this company. That could be for the wrong reasons, but I'm taking it for the right reasons. And the fact that Gavin Cromwell has always thought fair whack about this horse, and I think she'll stay, and I'll give her a chance. In the Pipe, Lucky Place has been my big sort of talking horse for the Pipe. Look, he has the chance of the Pipe or the Coral Cup. Either or, I back him for. Same with Built by Ballymore, which I mentioned for the Coral Cup. Either race he goes for, I back him for that. I think Lucky Place's form with Gidley Park and the way he ran behind Gidley Park was really good the last day. Stellar Story also in the Martin Pipe. I think that's got a good chance. Just been contesting graded races in these novice races, and he's sort of the typical sort of novice coming into handicap company for Elliott. I think he's got away with a nice mark in the low 140s there. So Stellar Story for me in the Pipe. And the County Hurdle, I found it an absolute nightmare. So I'm not confirmed on this, but under control if the ground is fine. If the ground is like soft, good to soft, or good to soft, under control. But if it's softer than that, I'd be worried about her. So the County is still a little bit up in the air for myself there currently. And I slightly agree with Lee with Premier Magic in the Hunter's Chase. We've got some comments flying in before we go to part 2 of our Danny Mullins interview. Zenta in the County for David there. Who else we got? King of Kingsfield, the day 4 nap. Dino Blue, no chance from I'm a Statsman. Ash, the real whacker, has no chance. Gentleman's Game is 16s, had a comment in from there. And so there's plenty of comments flying in. Get your comments in while we're in the background, because we're going to part 2 now.
I've seen one as well, Ash. You can also watch this back after. So
yes.
for those that are asking, you definitely can. Whether you want to hear our voice again is another story. But
has one for the Martin Pipe, doesn't he?
Who has one for the... Oh, yes, Danny Mullins has one for the Martin Pipe. Yes, you're correct. One that wasn't on my agenda and should be on my agenda after this. So, we're going to take 5 minutes now while we go part 2 for Danny Mullins, who does give one for the Martin Pipe. So, one to stick around for. Get those comments in in the meantime, and we'll get them up on screen for your day 4 naps and your Cheltenham Festival naps. And we'll be back for our festival naps as well. Fingers crossed anyway. The Stayers Hurdle, Danny, it's maybe not a race that, sort of in recent years, Willie Mullins has been hitting the target with, but you've got a couple in there: Sir Gerhard, Asterion, Falange, and you've got a few in there. What's the likely runners potentially for the yard in the Stayers Hurdle this year?
I'd imagine Asterion and Sir Gerhard are the two that should definitely go there. Monkfish would be a very realistic possibility of turning up there as well. But for me, this is Gordon Elliott's race to lose. He has Tehufu and Irish Pint. There's a chat of Irish Pint going for the champion hurdle, but I think both horses are made for the Stayers Hurdle. And for me, Irish Pint is the one. He's improving, hasn't had a hard season. I'd be all over him. Tehufu, people are saying maybe he would have won if this or that happened last year, but Irish Pint is the one I'd love to be on there for Gordon.
Yeah, he definitely looks to have a strong hand. You mentioned Monkfish there. Perfect segue into potentially where he could go. Is it was mentioned a little bit in Willie's sort of stable tours with the press that they might be thinking of the Gold Cup with him, or they might go Stayers. Is there been any more movement on that? Is he potentially one that could end up going into the Gold Cup and giving an extra runner in there for Willie?
he could do. I suppose that'll be all up in the air, and it'll depend how all the horses are working during the week and any reports coming out, whether there's horses dropping away from other races, kind of, your Constitution Hill kind of news. If that happens within either the Gold Cup or the Stayers Hurdle, would probably sway which way he's going to go. That'll be fairly fluid at the moment, I'd imagine.
But with Galopin the Champs, it doesn't matter if Monkfish does go. You've got a very good hand in the Gold Cup. Can he? It's a big thing for the Yard. He done it with Albion Photo. It'd be quite special if he could go back to back in what looks like quite a strong year in the Gold Cup.
Definitely, it's a very competitive Gold Cup, and I think if he reproduces anything that he's shown in Leopardstown, he's a monster of a horse and deserves to be a shorter price favourite as he is, But Gold Cups, they're tough races, and you're racing all through the year at peak performance. It takes a proper champion to keep turning up and doing that. But I think Galopin des Champs is that.
Fingers crossed anyway. And final race we'll sort of put under the microscope is the Triumph. So Gino's obviously a short price fab for the British and Nicky Henderson, but you look in the market, Madgeborough, Cargeese, Stormheart, Salvador Mundi, Bunting, they're all there for the team. Is there maybe one that can step up and potentially give Sir Gino a proper race here in the Triumph?
I think Sir Gino deserves to be favourite, but for me, he's not. He's maybe the wrong price. He doesn't. I don't think he's that far ahead. It's visually impressive. Bartlett Road, did he pick up an injury? Is that why he got so far clear of him from the back of the last in Cheltenham? And while the Irish horses are quite closely matched, I think there's quite a bit of strength and depth to that form. And the one that finished, of the three we mentioned, the furthest back, Marshborough, is probably the one you'd have to take out of the race. He ran a bit keen, his first run of the year. Big horse, strengthening up all the time. I think, he's probably the takeout horse from Leopardstown. At the same time, I wouldn't swap Cargeese were I to get the leg up on her again. And Paul seemed quite happy with Stormheart, that it was the first time he'd really had the gun to his head to go and learn how to race in Leopardstown. So, any one of those could be the best of Willie's, and I hope the form is good enough that we can take on the English horse.
Fingers crossed it's not a foregone conclusion then. We'll wrap things up, Danny. Away from sort of looking at, all the horses we've put under the microscope there, the likes of Ballyburn, Galopin des Champs, El Fabiolo. Is there maybe one or two horses that sort of people should be made aware of from Willie's that potentially might be running in a race we haven't mentioned, or any of the handicaps? Is there any that sort of spring to mind which you think, they've got a good chance heading into this year's Cheltenham Festival?
I think a good case can be made for Lombron. I think hopefully he turns up in the Martin Pipe. I rode him behind Tully Hill. Now he's beat 25 lengths in that Punchestown race, but got under a few hurdles, ran a little bit keen early on. If he can settle and jump well, 2.5 is probably his trip. And he's learned how to jump fast enough for a handicap, running over 2 miles the last day. I think he'd have a solid chance. If Michael O'Sullivan, who won a Marine National, the Supreme last year, still qualifies for the Martin Pipe this year, he's a professional in Ireland, but with the amount of winners needed in England, whatever he's declared on in the Martin Pipe is going to be a plunge horse, because I'd imagine he'll have the pick at Willie's.
I think they've already plunged, queued the ball. the money's down.
Okay. Interesting on that, but if Michael O'Sullivan is declared on him, he could be the one. But I thought Lombron gave me an okay feel the last day in Punchestown. He's becoming a little bit forgotten. He's not a bad type.
That's brilliant to hear. One for the Martin Pipe there. Thank you very much, Danny. And thank you very much for your time, Danny. It's really been a pleasure to speak to you all. Me, Lee and Harry are so thankful for it. And look, we wish you the best of luck at the festival. It's sure to be 4 days of hopefully excitement and hopefully success for the Yard and yourself. And we do wish you the best of luck and hope you end up in that winner's enclosure at least once or twice throughout the week.
Thanks a million.
There you go. Danny Mullins, what an absolute legend, giving us his time there, recording us yesterday. And one for the Martin Pipe. Lombron, potentially. Wasn't on my agenda, but he's on the agenda of Danny Mullins, and it could be interesting there. What have we got in the comments? We asked for comments there, and we've got comments on Monkfish for stayers at 55. Congratulations. That's a big price there. Under Control, we're drawn at Kelso Saturday for the vet's advice. You're correct there, but Anthony does agree. Under Control, agree with you there. Ash, who else have we got here? Cam's still hoping Salvador Mundi turns up to the Triumph. I think you might be you might not be right on that one. He might be telling you, he might not be, but it's going to be. What's this, Lee? You're on mute.
Yeah, that's you. No, I think Salvador Mundi's going to take a chance, though. I did, yeah.
There you go. Well, look, it could be a big performance to do Triumph first time out. Barley Stock, Lee, agreement there from Keith. Someone like Lucky Place there. Joe liked Lucky Place as well. And we've got one for the Hunter's Taste. Miss Seagreen, 6-6-1 from Con. So maybe one to keep on side there. 66-1. Gentlemen, festival naps time. So we've done all the 4 days. This is, as Harry said, recorded. So it will be on our YouTube channels afterwards. So do please check it out if you missed it or joined late. And thank you very much for tuning in the whole time. If you like and subscribe, that'll be even better. We really do want to keep pushing forward if you enjoy things and if you enjoyed the content. It's been a big haul to get this together and the whole Cheltenham series as well. It's been a big effort from all the lads. So we'll go festival naps, gentlemen, and we'll go guest first of all. Jack, we're going to put a little...
first of all, thanks very much for having me on, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. You guys have absolutely smashed the Cheltenham content this year, and hopefully you've been able to point us in the direction of a few winners. But it will come in the Arkle. I think it's a very open race, and I think Hunter's Yarn is going to improve past all the other Willie Mullins contingent and win the Arkle this year.
Hunter's Yarn, like it. Agreement there for the Arkle. Lee, yourself. Now, actually, no, I'll come in first because we both like the same horse, and your nap is Bright Days Ahead, but I've also taken Bright Days Ahead, so that's just one slot in. That's my nap, Bright Days Ahead in the Mayor's Novice. So that opened yourself up, Lee, to put your sort of next best in, I suppose. But is going into the fourfold. What's the horse?
Yeah, my next best I would have said is Cribilli. I do like, but for the purpose of this, the Yellow Clay. I really do think that's got a huge chance in the bump for the reasons we mentioned.
Brilliant stuff. And Harry, final leg. Get it up if you can. What's the fancy?
I've not heard that for a long time. But
yeah, a little bit. Harry, come on.
Yeah, MVLN. He will carry them all in the Ryanair and win.
There you go. The fourfold is on screen now. MVLN 7-2 for the Ryanair. Bright Days Ahead, Mayor's Novice, the Yellow Clay Champion Bumper, and Hunter's Yarn for the Arkle. And the odds, I'll take away the banner there because the banner is overholding the odds. Fourfold odds 668-1 on the fourfold. We've had good success in the past, lads. If I'm right in saying, was it 2 years ago we got 3 of the 4 up? Was it?
Yeah, we did. We did.
There you go.
We did. 2 years. 2 whole years of being with each other, and look how it's evolved now. We wouldn't be able to get all of these shows going if it wasn't for everyone listening. So honestly, we do appreciate it all, and lads, well done. Give yourselves a pat on the back because we've put a good shift in.
Yeah, no, seriously, probably a good time to say thank you very much for the support over the last few years. It's been absolutely fantastic. We've gone from Twitter Spaces, still do Twitter Spaces. We did our Cheltenham preview, the first one, Twitter Space. Then we went to the big preview last year, and we got this preview in, slightly different. Really hope you enjoyed it. Big effort from all of us throughout the last few months for this Cheltenham series. So I really do hope it's a good one. Just had a comment in. Good Trixie, leave the bumper horse out of it. That's a good comment to finish things off. No, the Yellow Clay will go and win now, and Lee's a shrewd man. I wouldn't be on the back against him, that's for sure. Jack, thank you very much for coming on. I hope you enjoyed your time.
You can go back to bed. Back to bed.
Yeah, I know. The sun's just coming up now, lads. It's 6:15.
How are you going to be watching Cheltenham? What's the crack over in Hong Kong?
There's a few bars that I'll be heading to watch it. My birthday's on one of the days as well, so hopefully be able to pack it all in together, and hopefully the night's good enough that I can roll into track work at Sheltenham one morning, kicking all guns blazing.
Hopefully, if Hunter's Yarn's won the Arkle, you might be in a good shout there. No, wish you the best of luck there. Wish you a happy birthday as well for one of the days. Harry, Lee, hope you had a good time. Harry, looking forward to it now, are you?
Buzzing. I can't wait. I'm just going to go and make myself a pizza after this, I think, because I'm absolutely fucking starving.
Lee, is it pizza for you, or what's the crack after the stream now?
Oh, I've got a pizza. I'm going to make some tea. I don't know what I'll make. I'm a good cook, Ash. But you know what? I need to save myself. I'm going for a Chinese in Cheltenham on Monday with a bunch of gang. Dawn, Ginger Joe, all them lads, and George Gorman as well. He's going to come
All
along.
right.
I think there's about 16 who are going for Chinese in Cheltenham on Monday, and then I'll be planning all week. So if you see us, come and get a picture.
Yeah, if you see us, any of us, just come and say hello. We don't bite. Well, Harry doesn't anyway, as long as Envoy Allen does, as obliged in the Ryanair. If you did enjoy it, please do like and subscribe. Comment on the video. Lee, the giveaway, is it? Lee?
Yes.
Yeah, the share.
The share in the horse, and I haven't picked it yet. I'm just picking it random. So I'll go and do that, and it'll be posted by the morning. If you want, and I'll leave it because we're such nice people. If you share this, it's pinned to our profile on the Only Fools of Horses Twitter page. I'll leave it until the morning to pick someone. So there's still time to get involved. Let's do it that way. And a share in an old gold racing horse as well. But they are our sponsors. If you do use what's our code? There's a code that will tweet out as well, and you get 10% off the horses as well. So yeah, look, really good horses to get involved in. Of course, we'll wish them luck with Apple away. And when we're going to be back, or we're going to be doing this Saturday in time?
We can do the Saturday live.
Yeah,
we whenever we want.
More short. Can I do a quick plug as well? I am going to be on the Odds Checker Spaces every morning if you want to listen in as well.
Aye.
The Geordie, how are man?
How are?
Brilliant stuff. There you go. Wish you the best of luck with that, and wish everyone the best of luck with their Cheltenham punting. If you're having a bet, please do gamble responsibly. It's a long week at Cheltenham. It can be a longer week if you gamble irresponsibly. So please do.
It's going to be a long week.
Please do gamble what you can afford. But we wish you the best of luck. We thank Jack. We thank all of our guests for coming on tonight. And if you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. But until the next time we see you, wish you the best of luck and best of luck at Cheltenham. Well done, everyone.